Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
We are here, folks. We are back. And we are here to talk about some pro wrestling again. What did we do last week, Donny? I thought we did something else.
Squad selection?
Squad selection, yes, which was an explosive endeavor. So it's been a minute. It's been a couple of weeks since we last talked to the game of pro wrestling. And I got to say, we have a lot to talk about. You know, one of the great things about the way we're approaching this show now is sometimes on the rare occasions that happens on SmackDown, we have like an immediate, you know, like foot traffic, right? Which here's the problem with that. Obviously, how often will stuff happen on SmackDown? That's a different matter for another day. But tonight, things happened. It was notable. People were watching for Kevin Owens, who we're going to talk about a lot, and actually got a major development in the women's division to close the show. Expert panel as always. Donny, how are you, brother?
I'm good. Preparing for the week ahead because I'm going to the movies pretty much like most of the week next week, which I'm really excited about. So that's fun. Work is hectic as always, but it's always nice when you get to come home and the immediate thing you do is decompress by watching some wrestling. And what better way to further decompress than talking with your friends about wrestling with a coffee? I'm excited to be here as always.
Absolutely. Khalid, you were a late addition to this program. I had to bully you by bringing up the pay window. How are you, brother?
Yoda Suji have done miracles on me. I am a proud member of the Church of Yoda Suji.
Yeah. Now, I do have to ask, are you staying the whole time? Because last time you were on the flagship, you kind of cowered out during the second half of the Tokyo Joshi Pro show.
Oh, cowered out is a choice of words. I had visits to attend to. Sorry, real life stuff happens, but I will be here for the entire time. Yeah. This time, for sure, 100%.
Did you just try to allege that real life is more important than Late Night Grin? What do you think you are, bro? This is our life, you know. This is this business. Nonetheless, we'll talk about this more off the air. All right, thank you, Khalid. The Oracle of Wrestling back on the flagship. Oh my goodness, it's been too long. How are you, boss?
I am great and fantastic. I have watched Raw and SmackDown this week.
How long has it been since you last did that?
June. Mid-June,
okay,
I think.
Not as long as I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a full-on World Cup exodus, wasn't it? That's godly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Tremendous stuff. So, folks, this show's going to be a little bit scatterbrained, and that's kind of the game plan here. I was saying to the guys before we went live, Donny and I are going to work as kind of as the point and shooting guard of this program. We're going to bring in our experts as we go, our lead correspondents for topics at hand. I do think it makes sense, though, and as you file in, please do smash the like button. Before we get to that, Noviak has been a member for 23 months. God, I shortchanged him.
Yeah.
It says, Church of Yoda Suji, a fourth quarter only guy. You don't want someone who will play hard the whole game? There's a question there. Khalid, we're going to talk about more, but is it fair to say you're of the belief that this allegation has been dismissed as of late?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't want to, so we'll get into more detail later. Novi, stay tuned. The New Japan topic on tonight's program is specifically Yota Tsuji centric, so stay tuned. Khalid with a really purposeful look on his face, I have to say. I think he's preparing to fire back. Young Blink with a finger heart. So, again, that probably looks really cool in the chat, doesn't it? Right? Does it look cool in the chat or not, Donny? Do we know?
It like flashes for such a small amount of time that you can't even really see what it is. It just sort of just like goes like this.
It's really good work, though. It's very, very topical, too. Thank you, Young Blink. Folks, there's over 8 of you here. What a beautiful thing. We appreciate you all. Please do get involved. Tell us in the chat what you've been watching, what you've been enjoying. And as we go from topic to topic, give us some feedback. Okay, let's talk SmackDown. Let's do it. Let's dive into SmackDown because that's what just happened. And then we're going to move to Arena Mexico, circle back. We're going to be all over the place here. in the coming couple of hours. Let's start with what ended the show, and it's something that has been discussed a lot on this platform and predicted on this platform. The Tatum Paxley debut, immediately linked with Alexa Bliss, closing a Charlotte Flair Jade Cargill match. The Oracle, I think it's fair to say, was pretty damn gutsy, wasn't it? Pretty gutsy.
Yeah, it was. I was very pleasantly surprised, actually. It was a match that they had made prior to SummerSlam, and it was a little bizarre. And they ended up having a really ambitious and strong match, I thought. I don't think, for various reasons, this match would have been any good at all 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think Charlotte has legitimately gone back to 2018, 2019 form. Or at least 2010's form, because she's definitely had an up and down career, but she has not looked this good since kind of the strong points of late 2018 when she had the really good Charlotte match and the Oscar match.
Yeah.
And Jade was game enough to go out there and hit her big spots. There was some stuff that didn't look clean, right? But especially from a overall point of view, I thought I thought they hit a home run. I thought they had a good match. I thought the crowd was well enough into it.
Yeah.
I thought the Tatum Paxley reveal got a really good pop.
And you have intrigue, right? You have a hook.
Yeah, exactly. And now it looks like we're going to have this babyface trio for a little bit, right? Before things seemingly inevitably go poorly for Charlotte. And but so which I think is the right play, actually. I think it would make no sense for Alexa to turn right now.
Right.
So this actually makes more sense too. But yeah, this was just a really good 15 minutes or so. I thought it was a really good match and angle.
Yeah. I like the match too. You know, there definitely was some stuff that didn't land as clean as you'd like. I do think they deserve full props for nailing that float over into the pump kick. You know, the step over lariat that she does. They nailed that. That was probably the toughest thing they went for. There's a couple of things that would, I think, they actually totally could have hit, and it happens, especially as they put some time in. But Donny, I think it came out well. And what do you make of the post match? Which, as Oracle said, it kind of seems apparent where we're headed here. But it was pretty interesting, Donny. What do you make of the whole thing?
Yeah, so anyone that's listened to me on this platform for a while now knows I'm a really big believer in Tatum Paxley. I fought valiantly in her corner last week on Squad Selection, and I think she is tremendously talented, and she's probably been my favorite women's wrestler in the company all year, to be honest. And what really struck me is, of all the recent call-ups, I can't think of one, besides maybe Obafemi, given, the Brock thing, that's been put in a better position out of the gate than Tatum Paxley. I mean, when you're looking at the star power that she's immediately found herself in company of, and seemingly the storyline that's going to be moving forward, I can't really think of a call-up besides Obafemi that's been put in a better spot. I mean, you look at Trick Williams, he's incredibly charismatic, incredibly talented, but they immediately saddled him with Little Yachty, right? Kind of diluting the act. Javon Evans is in a good spot. I don't want to take away from where, but he's kind of, you can kind of sense that they don't really know yet where they want to go. Here, it feels like they actually have some semblance, at least at first glance, of a direction for Tatum, and I think she's more than deserving of it. And I think stylistically, from a character perspective, there were no better people to put her with than with Charlotte and Alexa, right? This more overtly bubbly personality of Charlotte, the soon-to-be probably really moody and gloomy vibe of Alexa Bliss. I think it fits really well, and it's really, really, really cool. The match itself, I don't know if I was really so much looking forward to it. I just know that going into it, I thought they'd put it off for so long that it felt like Charlotte was going to work really fucking hard, because it seemed like a match that she really wanted to have. And her effort levels this year, even in matches where she has no business trying as hard as she does, is incredibly commendable and legit really hard not to get swept up in. I mean, she is just going for it out there. She is fighting. She's giving the people something to latch onto, and I thought it worked really well against Jade, who's kind of a little bit more stoic.
Right, but I do think it's important to say, in big matches, when they've called Jade's number, she has been very, very steady, I think. Very, very steady. Now, I wish the act connected more. But I think I wasn't surprised the match went well. And again, you know, we were talking relative here. Right? Since something we were talking about in December. But it went well, and I wasn't surprised because I think Jade in the bigger matches generally has done pretty well. I think she did so again tonight. Yeah, good TV. The women's division needed it because, quite frankly, and we'll jump around here a little bit, folks, I thought I was a lot less encouraged, to be frank, by the segment earlier in the show because I think Chelsea Green's great at what Chelsea Green does. Night one of her as, like, I'm very happy babyface champion, I thought was an immediate, like, oh, they need to tinker with this out of the gate, I think. Oracle, Nia Jax, Chelsea Green direction was not the easiest way, not the best way, sorry, to silence doubts as to Chelsea as world champion, right?
So, I don't know, man. You know, a couple months ago when I was still watching the TV, Nia Jax and Lash Legend were clearing the ring of people every week. And now it just happened again. I thought it was over with. It just never ends. Yeah. It just, every week it just happens, you know?
I thought it was over and it came back again. And I would argue tonight was maybe the worst of them because poor Nia, no one gave her the belt, so she had to just leave and grab it, you know? It was really... It wasn't an ideal segment.
The whole segment was just... They have, since the beginning of the year, or whenever Tiffany won the U.S. title, I can't remember when that was, they've repositioned her well, I think. But other than Tiffany, no one really had a good night here between these ladies. I mean, Chelsea's like happy-go-lucky babyface stuff is.
It kind of takes the charm.
It eliminates all the charm from Chelsea.
Yeah.
I didn't think they clicked in the ring.
Right.
Any of these ladies clicked in the ring. Not a good night for Fatal Influence. I keep thinking Fatal Attraction, but that was
it was strange the deal where JC was going for the US belt, and their logic to get to that was not the sharpest writing you'll ever hear.
Yeah, because they did the deal where we have to we'll give you title match if you give me a US. I don't know. I actually am intrigued to see JC and Tiffany next week, and I think that's actually will probably be pretty good. Because JC's such a good person to kind of control the match and do the healing, and Tiffany can just hit her spots. I think that's actually has the potential to be really good even.
Me too.
So I am excited about that. But in terms of the overall sort of presentation, the match itself, the post-match, this was a pretty bad miss.
Yeah. Someone's going to get the ball.
Chelsea title program is just everybody sort of predicted that, right? With what the alleged booking they've been doing with Nia, which again I haven't watched the TV until now in 6 weeks, but a Chelsea Nia program is not a direction that is terribly appealing.
Donnie, you told us you have a name. Someone's going to get the ball in this division soon. Who's it going to be?
Heel Tiffany Stratton. So I think JC's winning this belt next week. I think Chelsea's going to do something where she's going to accidentally fuck over Tiffany, and JC's going to win this belt, and Tiffany's going to turn heel, and they're just going to go right back to Tiffany as champion, but as a heel this time. That's what I've gathered as my conclusion via the help with the chat in the Discord. We've concluded that feels logical. Not what I would do, because I would just give JC the belt, the main belt, personally. But in terms of what they've laid out, that feels like the most logical thing from what we've seen on the TV.
It's not the most exciting, but it does sound like the safe pick, which is what I think they'll go for. So, yeah.
I will say this. If JC Jane manages to become U.S. champ for the majority of the fall, that is a huge win for JC Jane.
Yes,
I agree.
Considering how they are, right? Let's just be. I mean, let's just be
with
brutally
call
honest.
ups.
Considering how they are, her getting a mid card title run is.
We'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it, man.
we have to bolster that division somehow.
Yeah.
If Rhea's gone the whole year, we have to get reinforcements. Bad, dude. Bad.
I still think they have pieces. It's just the balance is all wrong and the shows are all clumsily put together. But nonetheless, final thing on the SmackDown front, and then we're going to talk some Grand Slam Mexico. Folks, we hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. Certainly am here. And let's talk about Kevin Owens and CM Punk. That was kind of the lead hook for the show. I'm going to have more Kevin Owens talk later in the show. But for now, let's talk the segment. I think it was clearly somewhat of a spar, right? I think they're going to have more bombastic segments in terms of the insults and such. I got the sense they were feeling each other out a little bit. But it did have a great deal of tension. It had a great atmosphere. I thought Kevin really, and I'm going to use the word projected or portrayed is the word I'll use because I don't know the situation. There was a sense of genuine resentment in the eyes of Kevin Owens. Now, where the truth and, that doesn't really matter to me. The TV is the most important. And I thought they conveyed that very, very well. It's a tough situation for CM Punk because he's in a babyface feud with a guy who wasn't around for 18 months. So that's going to be complicated. We'll talk booking later, but for now, Donnie, what did you make of the segment?
Oh, I thought it was outstanding. My favorite part of the segment was they opened the segment with no mic, just shit talking. This like Kevin's just smirking and Punk's like, "You're hurting my feelings." And Kevin's like, "Really? That hurt your feelings?" Like They're just calling each other. But like, I love the energy, right? With no mics, it's just two guys face to face talking shit. I thought it was awesome. What I really liked about the segment is a lot of these sort of like, "Oh, I hate CM Punk" angles in recent years are more like, "You left us and you said bad things about our company. Fuck you." I appreciated that this was different from the standpoint of Kevin was like, "I've never really liked you, and you've just confirmed why I've never really liked you. Like, you're one of the few guys that I've been around that has allowed the business to consume their humanity." And I appreciate that because he was able to perfectly tie that in with his own humanity and what he had to go through for 17 months. And this idea that Punk is doing all this, "Oh, you're calling out Cody, you're calling out Randy. Of course you're overlooking me like you've done this entire time, and you just reconfirmed why I think you're such a fucking asshole." And I thought Kevin did a great job of taking the sort of, I would say, and for me personally, stale approach of CM Punk said bad things about my company, fuck him, and made it a more personal battle that you as an audience can relate to. And what I appreciated about Punk's rebuttal is that it was more prickly than what you would expect, right? Like, it wasn't a total babyface rebuttal. Like, he really was like,
he kind of pushed them in Kevin's direction, didn't he?
Yeah, like you walk away from that segment thinking, wait a minute, Kevin's right. This guy is a fucking asshole. Like, he's saying all these derogatory things. He's talking about how you should be thanking me. I'm the reason you're here and all this. And you're kind of like, hold on. But then you're also on the flip side thinking, wait a minute, Punk's also telling a little bit of the truth, right? The pipe bomb and everything that set off. So a lot of the segment you're able to chew on and digest. And I think when you're doing something like this, my favorite thing is when you're able to make the audience really think, right? Really analyze what the words are and what they mean. And I think both guys did a great job because now the story can go in so many different directions. I thought it was outstanding. And the beautiful thing for me is I think they're going to have a better segment and multiple better segments in that point. But I thought it was awesome.
Certainly a more sort of like straight ahead, aggressive segment, I think. To that point, our friend Karan, who's been a member for 23 months, says, maybe because I was expecting a Kingston segment energy, I was very disappointed with the KO Punk segment. Thought Kevin would smoke him. I think it's really, and again, I don't know either of these gentlemen, but there is a level of unfamiliarity as people that can make these segments very hard because I think both guys were aware there was a lot of, they kind of played into it, and that's part of the fiction, I'm aware, but there was a lot of, like, kind of stepping around things a little bit, right? And I think Kevin, he would flirt with the matter, and then he'd pull back and he'd flirt. Now, here's what I'd say. If that's the only promo segment they ever do, I think it actually was pretty disappointing, to be honest. I don't think it will be, and it certainly shouldn't be, Oracle. What did you make of what I felt was a set-up segment to something bigger? Where did you stand on it?
My favorite part is when Nick Aldis awkwardly came up, like, or they started cutting a promo on one another, and I don't know what the timing of that was. That was the weakest part of the segment to me. But yeah, I mean, this was a very strong segment. My affinity or enjoyment of these, and I don't want to be too negative, I guess, but my enjoyment of these sort of sparring sessions
Right.
is similar to Joe Holbert's enjoyment of ladder matches at this point.
Yeah.
So like I tend to just try to like find what the big line is, and the big line was that Kevin Owens called Phil a miserable piece of shit, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it was, with all that said, it was a strong segment that was well done. Donnie, I think my favorite part was probably when they were sort of just getting in each other's face right at the start, and John at one another. I understand why they didn't do it, but I do kind of wish, like, I don't know. I think it would have packed a punch, pun intended, a little bit more if Phil just like gave him a cheap shot.
Yeah, because it would have felt like he was the one who kind of got his skin. Because in Toronto, he's going to be a heel, isn't he? So
yeah. So when is this Toronto show?
2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks from tonight. Yeah, which that'll be a show like tonight where we kind of just go live after and cover.
We should do a big fight breakdown for that.
Maybe so.
I'm probably gonna have to. I'm gonna have to.
That's one you're gonna have to watch.
I'll be traveling that evening.
Yeah, avoid spoilers on that one. I think that's gonna be fun. We'll talk finish later because I want to get into that. But yeah, a good segment. I liked it. I thought the tough crowd on the "You're already in your wrestling gear" line. That was a good line, personally. Crowd did not laugh at all. And then Kevin completely sandbagged it with the "I wrestle in shorts, not pants." I was like, "Oh, damn, tough start for the punker."
He hit that doesn't work for me, brother. Though it's popped me huge.
That was funny. Thank you. I definitely appreciate. And I definitely understand that it definitely didn't have the raw venom of Eddie Kingston. But in fairness, I think Kevin, and while he has certainly cut many a fiery promo in the past, I do think he has a more snarky nature in general, doesn't he?
He's more subtle about it, really. Yeah,
for a wrestler. Eddie's very...
like, in your face, like, I fucking hate you.
Yes. Colt, who is the leader of the Gabe Kidd campaign and propaganda arm, says, 5 stars, thanks, Dave. Khalid. Star rating me, please. Hanare, Gabe Kidd, please. Let's get this on the record. Dave went 5. What say you?
2 in a paper plate.
Oh, no. Goodness gracious me. Thank you, Colt. Kuzu. Huge pop for Becky and Charlotte, reminding everyone who runs shit this week. Look, man, there's always there's a hurry, there's a rush, and I think right now, because there's frustration with the kind of quality of the shows, there's this feeling of like out with the old, in with the new. I think anyone who truly is of the belief the division would be better for getting rid of the established names, who, by the way, aren't old, especially by current wrestler standards.
No.
I think Charlotte's 40, which would make her like the youngest main event wrestler in WWE. So, yeah, then I just think there's so much for them to contribute still, and we're going to talk about that more briefly here later on. But thank you very much, Kuzu. Hope you're well, mate. Hope everyone's well tonight. Over 100 of you here just went down. So, see what happens, Donnie? See what happens? I say it.
Yeah, we can't mention it.
Yeah.
We just can't. Have to thank the masses.
Yes, let's just like the stream and all that good stuff. Let's talk Grand Slam. Khalid, this show, man, it's wild, right? It's kind of a destination thing in terms of the vibes.
Yeah.
When I was writing about this show for my famed Substack, Khalid, I was thinking there was a lot of good stuff on this show, but it all kind of was secondary just to like the feeling of it, you know, like the entrances, the atmosphere. What was your kind of takeaway from a show that had very, very strong vibes, I thought?
Honestly, I kind of felt the same way I did last year, or at the last Grand Slam Mexico. Like, the vibes is just off the charts. And it's like, when the vibes are hitting that hard, you know, obviously AEW is going to show you some good wrestling, but it's like, we're just here for a good time at this point. We're just here for a good time. We're here for a little party, you know? And that's what this show was, man. It was a party, man. You had everything. You had the women going crazy. You know, you had singles matches, triple threat stuff, you know, 6-man stuff. Like, this is all just going off the charts. And then the entrances, I mean, Mystico. I mean, like, come on.
Wow.
Just, yeah, exactly.
And
that's all you can say is wow.
What about Copeland's entrance?
Yeah, Copeland is, if you were to tell me in like, I don't know, maybe like 2019 that fucking Cope would be doing an entrance in Arena Mexico and the entire crowd will be singing his song word for word, the whole thing, and he's like, and they're just getting the biggest and biggest of pops. I'd be like, yo, you're what? You're
I'm not gonna lie, Khalid. If someone came back from the future and said Cope's working Arena Mexico in 26, I'd say, bro, he must have got in serious trouble. He must have been, he must have been exiled.
He must be dirt poor, like living on the streets, and somehow got in Mexico. Like, what the fuck? But no, that's not the case. Like, this is just life for him. This is just happening.
Very cool.
It's very great to see. It's very great to see.
Yeah, awesome stuff. We'll talk about more some of the details. But Donny, favorite match on the show, mate? Tell me.
Oh man, dude, I gotta be honest. I think. Trying to think here because it's between two. It's between Fletcher and Bailey, which may be my favorite match of theirs, or the opening 8-man tag, specifically because Christian Cage continues to be the most hilarious professional wrestler. And this guy gave Marina Shafir a fucking low blow, just outwardly, no remorse, just kicked her right below. He is incredible. And fuck it, I'm talking myself into it. It was the 8-man tag. Cope did a 619 and landed on his ass. It's the 8-man tag. I'm talking myself into it. Bro, that match is fucking awesome.
Yeah. That was a very Miz awesome you hit there. Was that just to excite Oracle that you did that for?
It might have been a little bit. That, or I would like to take credit for that, yeah, because otherwise it makes me sound like a Miz fan. No problem, dude.
But Khalid, where did you come in? Match of the night, mate. What are you thinking? Speedball and Fletcher, maybe? Where you going?
Yeah, probably Speedball and Fletcher. I did really like the 8-man though. I feel like I'm just like Donnie. I was pretty high on the 8-man more than most people, but the 8-man is fucking fire. It's fine. I love a good, fun opening. Multi.
It's a party match, bro.
Yeah, it's a party match. It's and again, kicking off the vibe show like that, like, this is excellent. It's great
in its own way. So I think the best match on the show was Fletcher and Bailey, but I think the most impressive match in some ways was the Trios title match, and here's why. That match came on. Well, how many multi-man tags came before that match? Like
3?
5? It was a lot, dude. Because you had the Mercedes 6-man, you had the Jericho 1, you had the Cope 8-man. Like, there was...
And then you had the 3-way. You had the Andrade 3-way, so it's another multi-person.
There was also
it seems so much.
There was a 10-man on Dark and a 6-woman's on Dark as well.
And Jeff Jarrett and Roddy were in that 10-man, but they're the same team, which is sad we need to see.
I want to see that so bad, bro.
Like, I'm looking
it's
at it.
It's got to be on Ring of Honor, right? Has to be.
Yeah, they taped it for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, good. I was really impressed by the fact that, considering all that we just said, the Trios title match really, they got the match over, and by the end, the title change felt big, which is hilarious, because really, I mean, the Mon had the belts for a week, so it was like, it wasn't really big at all, but it felt big in that moment, which is admirable. Ospreay and Davis was big. Honestly, I wasn't prepared for him to swing that big in terms of, like, the blood and such, and some of the weaponry and plunder, and I have to say, Donnie, we talked a lot about Ospreay's creative over this year, and I'm not saying that anyone was wrong for that way, because at times I felt that way, but as we said, Ospreay still feels pretty damn sharp on these shows in terms of the crowd response, doesn't he?
Yeah, the one thing that you can't say about Will, and I would even say this as somebody that got to experience the Samoa Joe match in person, and that was still the Death Riders thing was going on, like, this audience fucking loves Will Ospreay, dude, and this audience, not only do they love Will Ospreay, they love the idea of him and Kenny Omega at Wembley Stadium for the World Championship. Like, that match, like, Mercedes and Willow feels immense. This also feels immense. And I think it's a testament to star power and belief in, because we've said it multiple times, Joe. If you think a match should be the match, that's the match you should do. If you're already thinking it, that's the way you should go. And if nothing else, they came to a decision. They said, this is the world title match we want, Kenny and Will. And I think, even if you couple that with last week and the great promo segment that they had to close out that show, where you really felt that fire and that intensity come back into the story, and it really felt back to a one-on-one conflict between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, it feels like the crowd's more than ever now. Yes, they've always really liked Will Ospreay, and that's never wavered, even in some creative lulls. But now they finally have something creatively to sink their teeth into, this single solo conflict of a man who's coming back from a broken neck, who wants to win the world title in front of his family and friends. You're giving them something to believe in again, now, rather than just, we love Will Ospreay, so we'll cheer him. There's an actual belief there now, and I think they've done a great job of getting this feud back on track, and I'm interested to see where we go. Getting Kenny Omega probably back in the fold here on TV this coming Wednesday. And yeah, it's fucking cool. And it's also hard not to, appreciate Will Ospreay when he's doing he's falling down the stairs like he's fucking John Wick in Arena Mexico.
Yes, sir. Khalid, I don't want any fence sitting. I want a real direct answer. Who's getting it done at Wembley? Mercedes Moné or Willow Nightingale? Tell me.
Oh, don't do that to me. What the fuck?
Here's what it is, bro. Here's what it is. Lock in.
Who I actually think is getting it done is probably Mercedes. I want Willow to keep it, but Mercedes is probably getting it done. And we're probably going to get a very good reign as well. We're probably going to get a very good reign to follow this.
Chad, tell us what you think. I mean, I see immediately Cal and Kuzu disagree. There's going to be debate over this one. There's been a lot of debate already about the TV book, in which wrestling's such a weird beast now. I almost wonder if there's going to be, if it's almost like reverse psychology, Willow getting the wins on TV, because that's, Tony Khan has sat in our seat and so absolutely has the same awareness of what that booking often means when someone gets pinned on TV. Mm-hmm. So I do wonder about that. I think Mercedes is going to take the belt, but we shall see. Either way, it feels like there's a lot of story ahead in terms of, if that is the case, Willow's surely got a chase, right? I mean, surely.
I'll ride with Willow all the way. I'll be the one.
All right.
From Willow. Willow's getting it done.
Let's talk about wrestling terrorist Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who returned on Wednesday with the Triple B and bloodied Andrade El Idolo at Arena Mexico. How dare he? And stated his case as the real world champion. Khalid, your thoughts? Where are we going here? MJF, real world champion, entering the casino gauntlet. What is he up to, this guy? Jesus.
It seems like, I don't know. I guess we're going to get a run that we should have got, a couple years ago that got cut short. I guess we're going to just see that with a different person now, which I mean, like, I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, I understand people like, CM Punk, what the fuck? But it's like, I mean, fuck it, let them do it. Like, just see how it goes. It's probably going to have good matches throughout it. Maxwell, I've enjoyed most of the stuff he's been doing recently. So I think whatever he has planned, I think in the end it's going to pay off. It's going to be well. He's going to be in the gauntlet, so more than likely he's probably going to win it. I don't know. And if he wins it, and whoever wins Wembley, which I don't know, you take your pick at that.
Right.
That might end up being something amazing as well. So I don't know. We'll see.
There's a lot of moving pieces, Donnie. Give me some outline here. Fantasy booking. Where are we going? Because there's an Andrade match to do. There's real world champion stuff to settle. There's a lot of stuff going on here, Donnie. What do you think?
Well, first, I think Max is going to have to grow a set and attack Andrade man-to-man, face-to-face. I think that's important. Listen, I got to be honest, Joe. I'm thinking about this, and Max has been great this year, no doubt. However, the real Latino man has been on a historic run. I mean, this guy, did you see him pull up to Arena Mexico right back after 3 years, like no time had passed? Just walk back in there. Coolest guy in the world. All the things. I think in my perfect world, I think we continue to ride the hot hand. I think Andrade has got serious momentum, and I think it's worth. Dude, look, Bandito. If you're not going to do it with Bandito, there has to, which you absolutely should. You have to commit. Like, the idea that you have to barricade these people off, to me, is incredibly shallow. I think Andrade right now is not only the perfect blend of, he's a great wrestler, but the crowd's really, dude, how is over as fuck. Now, we can debate forever about what that actually means, but that is a serious thing that he has actually gotten over, that in turn has gotten himself over. In my world, we ride that hot hand, and man, the thought of Andrade and Will Ospreay for the World Championship, or an Andrade Kenny Omega rematch for the World Championship, man, I think that's something special waiting. And the thing with Maxwell is he's already proven himself, right? He's going to be a draw no matter what. You can always go back to Max, which I think is the beautiful thing about where he is right now. You can always go back to him no matter what. You don't want to be the guy that you look back in a year and go, man, I wish you would have struck further when the iron was hot. Yeah. I think you ride with Andrade. That's what I would do.
You think they're going to have a singles match in September? What do you think?
I think All Out. I think at All Out they'll have maybe there's a thing where like Andrade wins the gauntlet and Max like puts something up like on the line against the contract or something. They do something like that, but I think they have a big singles match in Chicago.
Maybe so. Folks, before we shift our attention elsewhere, I do want to just reiterate, and it's a tough TV, honestly, to even cover because as I mentioned earlier, I think the Vibes kind of served as like a 1 seed for the show. That's got to be one of their strongest TVs they've done. I mean, it has to be.
I agree.
Just on sheer depth of quality, right? Like, just so much good stuff. Great energy, great presentation. Felt so major league and important and significant. There was a pageantry. Everyone felt like a bigger star on that show. I thought the legends were used really, really smartly, actually. And I think there's probably a lesson in the way they were used, actually, right? Like, when you can... Sometimes I think we can probably put a little bit too much on their shoulders. Less so Christian, more so some others. But you get my point. And, yeah, very, very cool. Great show. Anyone who didn't see it, I recommend. Just, even if you just, highlight the vibes and the fucking entrances, it was just such a cool deal. Like, have they uploaded any entrances to YouTube? I don't know.
I don't know, actually. They have a weird uploading thing where they only upload like 2 minutes of everything now. Like, they don't even ever upload like full things, which I think is a missed opportunity.
Do you not get the full ones? Is that an international thing? Okay,
I only
so
get
on
2
my
minutes.
this is a great AEW thing. Internationally, I think they upload like bigger clips. So what happens is they use the same thumbnail. So my subscription feed is just literally like the same video in terms of title and farm over and over and over again after TV because I guess one of them gets region blocked, I guess, out of like the WBD thing. I have no idea. I guess it is.
They uploaded Mystico and Jericho's entrances.
Okay. Yeah, and they were awesome. And there's the biggest sign yet. There was a hell of a night. Dukes even liked it. Thank you, Dukes. Hope everyone enjoyed Grand Slam Mexico. Let's circle back a couple of days and talk about a rare, newsworthy Raw. The Oracle of Wrestling, I'm going to circle back to you here. SummerSlam, I was thinking that SummerSlam, nothing really happened on the Raw side, really. If you actually think about it, right? Like, Liv cut the belt, over-retired Brock, and Seth and Roman was, like, that was what it was, but it wasn't like a storyline development in any way.
Sure.
I thought the show... Some of the in-ring elements we'll discuss, but as a happening, I thought the show was pretty damn, important that it felt that way. And the big highlight to me, Oracle, was the women's division reset with Stephanie and Becky. What did you make of that deal? I think it was really refreshing to see Becky just be Becky again, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a good overall episode of Raw. I thought they did a lot. It reminded me of... it reminded me of when Vince was running things and he would make his and I don't want to praise
you hesitated. Yeah.
But it reminded me of when he would make the shows after a Big Four seem meaningful.
Like a reset show, yeah.
Something that Triple H has never done and lacks, and I thought has always been one of his big weaknesses.
Yeah.
And even when they were good in 2023 and 2024, he's never made the Raw after Mania, the Raw after SummerSlam, the week after whatever. Vince was always able to do that for better or worse, right? Sometimes it wasn't always good,
Right.
But there was at least some moving pieces. This is one of the few times that's happened in the Triple H regime, which I appreciate. And going specifically to that segment, the women's segment, what I liked so much about it was the crowd reaction. Fans are finally getting used to Becky's theme. So when it hit, they popped because they knew it was Becky. But Stephanie got a great response. A holy shit chant. This is awesome. When she and Becky went face to face, that was the most satisfying part. Because Stephanie was certainly very over when she came into the main roster, but I thought she had come too late. What I learned is that she probably came at the tail end of any steam that they had left, and that stuck, thankfully, with her because she is so good. I was very, very excited with that showdown that they had. Good promo from Becky. I thought it was a really well done segment. And it also seemingly looks like Liv is going to actually have to fucking wrestle, which
right.
They turned it into a meta storyline, which is always terrible. Like, oh, she hasn't defended the title in so many days. It seems like they're going to actually make her wrestle and defend the belt. Either against them in two separate singles. I mean, they'll probably do Becky and Stephanie. Maybe they might end up doing a triple threat
They're
or
gonna
something
do a
like
freeway,
that. Or something.
Yeah.
But like my guess is they'll probably do Becky versus Stephanie in a week or two, and then it'll go into some sort of non-finish that will result in a triple threat where Liv and Roxy and Raquel interfere in the match, and then they announce a triple threat, for probably Sunday night's main event in Atlanta. That would be my guess. But I was just really pleased with how over the segment got. And how over Stephanie in particular was.
Yeah, I'm with you completely. Donny, it's always funny, right, when a top star can kind of just do this sometimes. Just kind of go, listen, I'm going to start over. And one thing Becky did that was really smart was she used it's not just me saying it, as like somewhat connective tissue, right? But generally speaking, she basically just started over, returned to her prior cadence, and the people were like, we're good with this, we'll cheer Becky Lynch. And it was very, very effective. It was actually a very short promo, Donny. What did you make of the segment, beyond what Oracle said, obviously?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. It was just glad to inject some life in that division, because it really has, unfortunately, felt really dead this summer. The Liv and Io stuff, which I actually thought the first 2 weeks of that build got off to a really hot start with the physicality and some of the angles, but unfortunately kind of wavered off when you interject Danhausen and Joe Hendry and all that stuff. So I thought that this was just more than a great segment in my opinion. I thought it was a much needed one. You needed to get the star power back, not just Becky, but Stephanie, who it is really cool to see how much this audience has taken to her, like actually, because you definitely get a lot of the NXT call-ups and even a lot of the international stars take a little bit of time, and even then they don't ever fully click. Stephanie feels like someone who legitimately, like, her presence not being around was incredibly noticeable the last couple of months that she's been gone. And so you're just happy to have her back. And I actually think the time off that she got, for whatever reason it may have been, was really beneficial for her, because she feels fresh again. She feels like a big deal. I thought that the title reign really watered down her star power, and I thought that this reset did wonders for not just how she came across in the audience, but when she stood face-to-face with Becky, it didn't feel like Becky was standing across the ring from someone who was lesser than her. It felt like Becky was looking at someone that actually stands shoulder to shoulder with her in the hierarchy of the division. And in terms of Becky, her being a babyface to me is absolutely the right call. I don't really buy her as a heel anymore. I think her promos come off incredibly inauthentic and corny in this whole like big time. It's not just me saying it, sports, like all that stuff. I think it's really robotic and cheesy.
Which is kind of the point, but yes, I definitely get that it can always make the most
it's very nauseating sometimes, even, but but I think.
Sorry, Johnny. It worked when she came back to feud with Bianca in 2021 after her pregnancy. Because it was fresh when she turned heel, right? The kind of big time Beck's cockiness actually really worked, I think, in her favor, and Bianca was a great foil for that. When she turned back heel on Lyra last year, it was just this was Becky in much more familiar, comfortable form, I think.
It will be interesting to see where that goes. The other kind of, big direction was Roman LA Knight. I just don't know if they're about to convince us that LA Knight has a shot, and that's that. I think this whole thing, I think it's a mistake in the sense that, this bloodline thing is really battling the sense that it's a rerun, and Roman doing an October match with LA Knight is like, unless I'm mistaken, exactly what he did 3 years ago.
Like 2023.
Yeah.
I would avoid that, but they've got themselves in this because he's been talking about him all summer, so they had to do it. I don't think it's a great idea personally.
So I'm so disinterested in this that I'm much more interested in talking about Roman and probably Penta at AAA, Roman will win, right? But I actually think that's a really cool match.
It's fresh. Yeah, it's fresh.
Cool.
And I'm glad that it looks like the direction they're probably. And look, it seems like we're probably going to get Penta and Phoenix in the finals, right? Also, two brothers wrestling to winner gets to face Roman in Mexico, which is pretty cool. So, that's just my guess by looking at that bracket that was announced.
No, I agree. That's a lot fresher. Yeah.
If anybody's confused, basically at the end of Raw, if you didn't see it, Roman was confronted by Rey Mysterio and Gorilla, and Rey was like, "I got a proposition for you." So essentially, the reason we don't have a pay-per-view in WWE for 2 months. Really, they're just going to have a pay-per-view at the AAA show, and I would imagine
Raw is going to be a destination Raw, the 14th, whatever it is.
That's right. Yeah, it's going to
be Raw in Mexico City.
Raw. Yeah. Thank you, Joe, for clarifying that. It's going to be the weekend of the big AAA
Triple Mania
weekend, which probably will have mid-carders on it, but Roman's going to defend his title. I would imagine Punk or somebody.
Punk will be on SmackDown.
Mexico City as well, I'm sure.
They're doing SmackDown in Mexico City.
How great was it? Roman was like, "I'm the AAA GM. Did you know that?" And Roman goes, "I do now."
I was gonna say, great acknowledgement of AAA right there. Incredible. It's just good.
I guess that makes sense for his character to be like, "Fuck, I don't know." So yeah, that was one thing. Big Cass returned. I think Javon's a really good pick for opponent.
I agree.
They need to find a middle ground between. You don't want him to sell too much, but I do think if you go too heavy on Harry Kills Javon, I actually think it will get the wrong kind of heat on him, to be honest. They can have a hell of a match,
It could be I think he's clearly a much better worker now, but it could get dangerously similar to his 2018 run.
Yeah.
And
where it becomes go away. You do not want that.
It doesn't live in a vacuum, and if he does the same thing that Corbin's just done, I think people will roll their eyes at it. So I would give him time, room to have an actual match.
Speaking of Baron Corbin, do you think the Undertaker said he could ride a motorcycle to the ring?
God, I hope so. So we're going to talk about Bron Breakker for a moment before we're gonna end this segment with a chat about the main event. And in order to do that, we need someone who's really been in the heat of battle and watching the highs and lows of this young man's journey. And that means we need the LNG Hall of Famer, Jack Crosby. What a night this is, right? What a night. Jack Crosby in the building. Folks, those are the things we do right here. Jack, how are you, mate?
I'm back.
You look very comfy. You got a new chair? Look at him. Have you guys have a new chair? You're sitting back there?
No, everything's still the same. My fucking base war zone since those twins were born, man. There's shit all over the place.
Yeah.
I go back to the couch like I did after SummerSlam.
Yeah. All right, so I wanted to ask you, because you actually, when you text me, it's perfect timing. You messaged me. Have they got you back on board with this Bron over business? Are you going to believe again, Jackie?
Oh, no, I got to see it to believe it, man. I didn't even think about it until I saw somebody tweet. I'm mildly convinced that Triple H is fucking with him because he's a Steiner. That never crossed my mind until I saw somebody say that, and I was like, you know what? That petty motherfucker might be holding a grudge against this kid.
I mean, he didn't help his cause with that line about the last thing he wants to be is a fucking Steiner. That would be the worst, right? You don't want to be a Steiner. Fuck that.
Why?
Yeah. That was the way you said that was, wow, it was explosive. I did want to quickly tackle the Raw main event, which I don't know, man. I love me some Powerhouse Hobbs, now known as Royce Keys, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert.
Royce Keys.
Yeah, Royce. And I'm not going to suggest the creative's been great because it hasn't been, but I have to also be honest and call balls and strikes. He has really struggled to get over, and it's bummed me out. And they committed listen, I'm not saying it was a great story because I'd be lying. They have absolutely spent time trying to get us to care about his history with Jacob. And the people on Monday did not give a fuck about that whole thing. And Donnie, you like the match. Let's talk about that and we'll circle back. But what did you make of the street fight which closed Raw, mate?
I mean, listen, the problem with WWE street fights is you have to grade them on the curve of watching two elementary school kids fight over a juice box. So you can't really take it seriously because it's Slim Jim tables and fucking chairs and all. So you have to grade it on a curve, right? So on the curve of WWE plunder matches, I thought this was very good. For 11 minutes, two big guys ran into each other. There were some clotheslines. There was a nice spine buster, and it popped the audience of one, aka me in my chair on a late Monday night. Yeah. Now, to your point, this crowd, however, was not the audience of one. They did not give a fuck. They actually could have given one fuck if they tried, which made me very sad. I don't know, man. It's this bloodline thing. It's just, to me, it's sad. I just think it's sad. Like I like most of the people involved, but it just feels like you're looking at somebody from afar and you go, oh, I remember what we used to have. And the audience is like, we do too. It's not going to be that good anymore. Please leave us alone.
Well, to that point, didn't I see at tonight's House of Glory? They gave a fucking goodbye to Zilla.
No way, really?
You didn't see that, Joe?
No.
No. Amazing Red. Like, he dropped the title to Amazing Red, and then Red told him good luck, and then fucking Zilla goes to the top of the wherever that is in New York, and they all threw the ones, and I was like, get the fuck out of here.
The strangest thing about this bloodline deal to me is Jacob. They have no interest in booing Jacob. They made this clear a year ago, and they're hell bent on like resetting him as what I guess Rome wanted him to be originally. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
but the issue is when he kills babyfaces, the crowd doesn't boo him. They just kind of go, yeah. So the babyface gets
doing it.
The babyface gets killed physically, and the people don't give a shit about them. So you're just left there to die. It's brutal. It's the worst thing for a babyface. He's getting killed by a Samoan werewolf that people like. You know, like brutal. All for it.
It was a good angle. It was a good angle too, which made it even funnier. It was a good angle.
Just didn't make any fucking sense.
No,
it's just I don't know. It's very weird. Like Jacob was so over in the spring when they did the Roman program. Like I was at the Raw after Backlash where they had their first match and Jacob beat the shit out of Roman, put him through the barricade or whatever, and the crowd was hot for it, and then they just chopped his balls off, man. It was weird. Roman chopped his balls off. But like, it's a shame. I mean, he's still so charismatic and so talented that he's going to remain over to a degree, but it's like, eventually over time, it's already hurt him enough, but it's going to hurt him even more. And the longer this continues.
The end of the show was, for anyone who missed it, Roman comes out and like basically says, "Job well done," and Jacob like roars in jubilation that he made the Tribal Chief happy.
Yes,
I can't make sense of it. I mean, it's insane. Entirely odds of how you think you'd present him, but whatever.
Right.
I still think there's hope for Jacob.
For sure.
In my scenario, and this is thinking way ahead here.
Yeah.
He's the guy to give Obafemi his first loss.
That'd be fucking awesome. The issue is they beat Obafemi 2 months ago, but other than that, it's a great idea.
Well, no, I mean, I fucking blocked that bullshit out of my head.
I think that's a money match. Yeah,
or I should say even like dethrone Oba after he wins the title.
That could be a big program, yeah. And to your point, genuinely, Jack, I think what you really mean is someone who can actually beat him, rather than it being like fucking 18 million full season tables.
Talk about the hilarity really quick of Akira Tozawa, who's great for what it's worth, clearing the ring of the Vision. That's how far the Vision has fallen. Is that Akira
I mean, honestly, that's where they're at right now.
Hell of a worker. Let's shout out Jumanji Hunter, who gifted 20. Count them, 20 LNG Gold memberships.
Well done.
If you got one of these memberships, please do thank Jumanji Hunter doing his thing, showing love to the Grinners. In the meantime, we will thank him immensely for showing us love. Anwar, Super Chat. We're getting over a headlock as a finisher is godly. More on that later. Khalid, what are the best nights of this year's 5-star Grand Prix? How's the Red Queen doing? Khalid, what we got here, mate?
The best night, I'll give you the one best night so far, is night 5. Just consistent, good to great matches all up and down the card. There's a double count out in there. There's a draw in there. Really, if you've watched 5-star Grand Prix before, you know how that stuff gets. It's not like the G1 where you had like these longer, 20 plus minute matches. They're usually quick, about 8 to 12 minutes, and they're good sprints. And that card right there has exactly what you're looking for if you're really trying to get some 5-star action. The Red Queen, however, which is Utami, who has came back to Stardom, is 1-in-3. She cannot buy a fucking win. She blows.
Zack Sabre Jr. type beat.
Exactly Zack Sabre Jr. Now
we started on that fucker.
The matches are good. But yeah, she just can't win. She can't win. So I don't know what that's going to mean for her later in the year, because I know she wants to get into that world title picture, but the Grand Prix, it will not be happening. It will not be happening for the Grand Prix.
Thank you, Khalid. And we're going to talk about Oil more later, specifically his match with Yota Tsuji, which we're going to be discussing later on this program. Our friend Cal sent a super chat and said, "What's next for EO Sky?" Prayer hands super chat, with some actual prayer hands to go with it. I don't know, to be honest. I think SmackDown, Donnie, is what you said there, right? Like
I think SmackDown. I think that's to me. When I saw the Rhea thing, I immediately in my head thought of 4 things that they should absolutely do. They've actually done one of them already. God bless. I thought you move Io over and you make her the ace of the division. That's easy. You can do that. That takes no thought at all. You continue to heat up Fatal Influence in a way that actually means something. That one always remains to be seen. I have no idea. The other one was call up Tatum Paxley and or Lola Vice to SmackDown. They've already done that. Good job. The other one, use the women that you already have. There are people on that show that are talented that are doing nothing. Use them. Will they do that? Probably not. But that was my 4-step plan to fix the SmackDown Women's Division.
So, to be clear, your answer for Cal was she's going to SmackDown.
That's my answer for Cal. She's going to SmackDown. Or she should go to SmackDown.
That was a genuine ask for the time and he tells you to build a watch. That was outstanding, dude. He gave him a 4-point plan. He didn't even ask for one.
He didn't. But I had it in my heart. I had to say it.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, maybe so. Like, the biggest issue EO's going to have, and this is not really an issue in terms of what really matters in pro wrestling, which is, being figured in. Her biggest issue creatively is going to be she's bulletproof. And when someone is bulletproof, bookers will absolutely lean on those and fire some bullets their way. And that'll be her biggest issue. And in that way, she's too good for her own good, which is very common in wrestling. But she'll be figured in some degree. I think EO fans have every reason to be kind of nervous because she was off Mania, which was fucking crazy. Insane that she wasn't on Mania. But I think she's going to be okay. I think she'll be back in the picture soon. Hopefully we can get some matches with, Stephanie, Becky, Lyra. That crew, right? Hopefully.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah. There's a lot of good matches. The problem with Raw, for me, and let's be clear, SmackDown has the same issue at 2 hours. SmackDown has three matches tonight. They need to get more matches on the shows.
I agree.
I don't actually give a fuck if they're short matches either.
I can tell you what. I have seen Brock Lesnar Godsmack I Stand Alone video 500 times.
Oh my God,
I ain't gotta fucking watch that shit anymore. I've seen it enough.
Right, so I think just more wrestling on the shows. The issue EO has is with how they do their formatting, where it's like, it feels like they get to Raw, especially, and they go, what is the women's match this week? And you can go a month where you see one EO match, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of wastes the value of EO, which is you should probably get as much TV time out of her as you can in the ring. She'll be figured in. I think she's most likely at some point going to be the IC champ because that's a good place to kind of park her, which is a horrible word for it, but it's what they do with that belt, right? It's kind of like Becky was just there when she was just parked as the IC champ for a bit. It gives someone stay busy work. Yeah, I think world title wise, SmackDown is probably the play though. If you want to be on top, I don't know who she'd work with on SmackDown, but
I think Tiffany might be interesting actually.
Yeah,
Tiffany, JC,
SmackDown's
Charlotte.
The style of the SmackDown crew is very different.
That's true.
It's hard to imagine,
Fuck. Wow.
They should probably mix and match a little bit so there's gimmicks and workers in both divisions.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Thank you, Cal. Our friend June, hey Joe, very important question. How do you feel about Haku and his large stick? So I actually want to plant a flag in the ground on this. This is not an enjoyable wrestling platform. People should watch whatever the fuck they want. They should like whatever they want. I'm not here to do toxic positivity. However, if you buried Haku coming back to SmackDown, you can go fuck yourself. I'm sorry. I draw the line somewhere. Legitimately among the coolest things they've done the entire decade. Yes, that includes their boom. They brought Haku back as a fucking manager in 2026. Haku as a manager. We all co-sign that. This platform is for that. It's pro that.
And he basically told his kids, stop fucking around.
Yeah. And the fact that he's going to be managing a team featuring God love him, and obviously it's his son, so I say this with respect, but it being Hikuleo makes the act so much funnier. Like, just the fact that he's going to have to stand there and watch those matches. I mean, that in itself is funny. You know, like, it's just, there's so much. And Tama's, oh, baby, you know? I mean, this is going to be a power. If only Haku was there for that Finn and Tama match recently. Oh, my goodness. Ooh. Yeah. Would have added a star. I saw some people being like, man, they did this old guy come out. I'm like, it's fucking Haku, bro. Can we not like anything anymore?
I want them to do like an angle where like they go on a little losing streak, and after every time they lose, he beats the shit out of them.
Yes. and not like a slap, like a pole driver, you know, like.
Then they finally get their shit together.
Yeah. I'm just wondering when Tungaloa's coming back. That's the question I have. Thank you, June.
That's
I know you wasn't very.
Yeah. When's JC Mateo coming back?
How great is it? Like the family, like Tungaloa got to let you go. Don't worry, we're bringing your dad in. So don't worry. The money keeps.
Fine. We're gonna give your dad a job.
As long as I get a Mattel action figure of Manager Haku, because let's be honest, guys, we're all friends here. This run is going to last maybe 3 months. Maybe 3 months. Maybe. It's a little bit like in AEW when Jake Roberts would. Do you remember when Jake Roberts would get a new client in AEW and he'd be like, how long is this one going to last? And it'd be like 2 weeks later, he'd just like, oh, I guess not.
I mean, Haku is so legendary that during a time where The Rock really had himself distanced from like everything professional wrestling, he bought that motherfucker a truck.
Beast mode. Absolute beast mode. Will, Roman saying I'll work Penta in Mexico. That's going to be a hot match. That's the most fresh thing he's done in a minute. Thank you, Will. Spubs, Nakamura and Naraku, it's finally time. I was thinking it was Hiromu. It could be all three. I don't know if you guys saw this. They did a Shinsuke reboot. Yeah.
Is it Hiromu?
I have no idea. I was presuming that people saying it was evil.
They did the purple lighting, so in my head I was like, it's evil because it's purple.
Oh wow.
Because I'm a fucking
Khalid, are you going to be watching SmackDown for this All-Star trio?
I am legally obligated to.
Yes.
Me and Shinsuke have a contract. I do have to watch it, unfortunately.
You have to be there. That's a hell of a contract too, because Shinsuke will go like 6 months without appearing at all, so you get some time away. I like that. Yeah. He showed up tonight. They do this thing, folks. They do these vignettes where someone's name flashes up before their promo, and it came up with Shinsuke, and I burst out laughing. Come on, son.
You know what I love about it? Because I saw the clip on Twitter. How many times can we do? I love Nakamura, legend. How many times though can they do this thing where he just disappears? Because he's you're gonna remember who I am. It's like, okay, but the 4th or 5th time, buddy, we tried this.
It's so funny.
They're the same thing.
It's so funny, and there was one they did tonight. We joke a lot about the phrase prayer hands, which is, you know, for anyone who's not familiar, it's the idea that when you see the prayer hands of a message, it can often imply like a level of nervousness, you know, like, give me something on this, please. Like, even though we're doing a show and someone will send a prayer hands, it'll be like, is anyone any update on this person being called up prayer hands? It's like that. You're asking with a frantic energy, right? You're panicking in your voice. The most prayer hands thing on tonight's show was the Nikki Bella pre-tape, which had the vibe of the SmackDown creative team just going, fuck it, what do you want from us, man? Everyone's getting hurt. We're building to Nikki and Paige. What do you want from us? You know, it was just outstanding. It was so like, oh, we've got to do it. Fuck, we'll do our best. There you go, some prayer hands in the chat. Thank you, Spubs. Finally, Sky Blue TV, floating hot. My goodness. Lead Fultz. Yeah. Yep.
I just realized that is absolutely a Sunday night's main event. Nikki versus Paige in Atlanta. That's like number second match on the card.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Cage match 4.1. Dave 3 stars inexplicably. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Did you see Dave gave Cody and Punk 4 1/4?
I sure did. Donald.
Yeah.
We're about to do something big. Open the Notes app on your phone, please.
Oh, fuck.
We're about to figure out what the fuck is happening at Wembley Stadium later this month. We're gonna figure this out.
Okay. So no more Braun. You want to talk about Braun?
Ibu's watching. Let's not give him too much. All right.
Fair. All right, cool.
Donnie?
All right, let's do it.
Let's lock in the matches we got. Because I want to have a number here of what we've actually got on this
card.
So
I'm going to do it by number. So we got Willow and Mercedes.
Yep.
We have Kenny and Will.
Yep.
We have Cope and Cage against the Bucks.
Yep.
We have Divine Dominion and the Birds.
Oh, baby.
We have the Casino Gauntlet
Yep.
Jesus Christ. I think that's it. Is that
Okay,
it?
so we're at 5, yeah?
We're at 5.
Okay. Chat.
I think we're
Tell
at
us
5.
tell us if we're missing something. Okay. Matches we're willing to lock. Evo, look at Evo. I'm out.
All right.
The matches we're willing to lock in.
All right, hold on. So you said willing to lock. So this is like
So-
we're confident in a prediction here.
Khalid, help us out here. So Fletcher, Takeshita, and Okada is locked in, right? We locking that in? We happy? We confident?
I think
Feels
so.
like we can lock
I
it.
think
Yeah, we can,
Yeah.
we can lock it in. Or I could do a gladiator spot here. Okay. So that's puts us at 6.
I feel like we're gonna get some sort of TBS title multi-person with like Persephone, Maya World, Statlander, Sheeta. That feels like what they're gonna do.
I don't know what I don't know. If I hate to say
I'm not
this 'cause
willing to lock it in,
I
but I'm
hope
saying
Maya
I
can
think-
be. I hope Maya's on Wembley, but I just don't know if that's Wembley.
I think they're going to get Siri for that. Siri or Hazuki for that. Well, no. Well,
Okay, but if they're gonna
yeah.
get, do you not think if they're getting Joshi Tank, they're gonna do something with the Tekla Stardom War?
Tech hasn't been on TV in like
Yeah.
it's weird, dude.
Maybe in a couple weeks though.
That's true. I feel confident in Kevin Darby though.
Kevin and Darby.
Kevin
lock
and
it in.
Darby's on Wemby. It's on Wembo. All right, I don't know the match, but I'm putting in Jericho all caps. He's in.
I think they may slot him in the gauntlet. Okay, we got
All right,
Moxley and Switch is going to be on there.
Mm.
or is it Moxley Nigel?
No, I think it's Jay White.
Okay,
I think so.
we'll say that. But Mox is in.
That puts us at what, Donald?
We are at 8.
Fucking hell.
We're
No
at 8
wonder everyone
matches.
ends up in the gauntlet.
I don't think the trios titles are on the show. I think they're all in the gauntlet.
Hangman can't be in the gauntlet though.
Can
All right,
can I
it's the
just say
belt.
something? Someone mentioned Mick Foley being in the gauntlet. No, he's going to be the referee for Divine Dominion this year.
Big pop from Crosby. All right, as we were.
hold on. Okay, so it's gonna be. Oh, I got it. Oh my.
Trios. We need something for the trios belts because Hangman can't be in the gauntlet, right?
No, because he can't challenge for the world title.
Maybe. Okay, I got it.
Conglomerate.
Pac, Claudio, and
Yeah.
Oh,
Seth.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, so we're
that
at
9?
9. We're at fucking hell. We're at 9.
We have one woman's match at 9.
This is bad. This is
so I've been in
no 2.
Jacksonville.
We have 2.
What was
We
that
have the
second?
tag title and
Tag's good. Okay. I'm thinking, and I hate to say this, folks, I'm predicting, not suggesting. I'm thinking Tekla, Triangle of Madness versus some kind of Stardom All-Star team
Okay.
on 0 Hour.
I can
is what
lock
I'm
that
thinking.
in. I can lock that in.
And if it's not on 0 Hour, I would presume that's where maybe Kyrie does something.
Mm.
Okay, I can. All right, so we're at 10, and these
Okay,
5
this
that
is
we
it.
just named are we're
It's
willing
Gabe
to
Kidd.
lock in.
It's Gabe Kidd.
Son of a
That's what it is.
bitch! It's gonna be Gabe Kidd.
That's who it is. 5-star Gabe.
Okay.
Okay, so who's not on this program so far?
So, my world's not on the show, which is very bad. I gotta admit, very bad. Who else is not on the show? FTR are not on the show. We don't know where they are, but they're not on the show. Everyone's favorite, the Motor City Machine Guns, are not on the show. Fucking hell, that's
This
like
feels
all.
like a really good shot. This
Are we
feels-
gonna get,
yeah. This is
Are we
probably
going to
this is-
get Kofi and Austin Creed?
They're
I
gonna
think
be.
they
I think they're the
show
big
up-
debut. They're the
yeah, I
big
think
debut.
they show up after the match. This is
Stadium Stampede. I feel like we can lock in Stadium Stampede. So
okay.
that
So we have to
but
change the trios.
yeah, the trios match can't happen then.
How many blokes is that for?
So that's hold on. So that's Shelly Sabin, Juice Robinson, the Guns. That's 5. Ace Austin is 6. The dogs are Connors, Finley, Kidd, Claudio, Pac, Yuta. Well, they need one more. Hangman, fuck it, you're in, bro. Dito, you're in the gauntlet. Hangman, you're in. You're in this situation.
Gives me a headache thinking about it.
They
bro.
probably
It's so
get,
difficult.
I'm just going to interrupt.
They can
and
get
say,
Driller
I
for
feel
that.
Like Maya will probably get a title defense on the
I feel like she,
Well-
or anything.
The other thing is they're doing TV in Britain like the week. I don't know where they're going, but they're doing the week off. So they could do. Again, I'll be clear. I hope Maya's on the card. I'm just being realistic. I don't think she's going to be on the card.
I don't either. Subs,
Yeah.
great point. This could be possible. This is always in play. You have to take into account potential big boom signing.
Okay, so who
Always.
have we got for the gauntlet? We've got
Max, Andy. That's it. I
So,
guess
like-
Ciampa will be in it. Commander will
Yeah.
probably be in it.
yeah
Nigel McGuinness will probably be in it.
Jeff Jarrett, please.
Please God. Jack Perry will probably be in it.
For Jack Crosby and I, Jeff Jarrett, please. Jack Perry.
The conglomeration will be in it.
They'll probably get Zach again. They'll get Zach.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach.
Zach will do it. Swerve, I have no idea, dude. He actually could just. I have no idea.
He's the kind of sleeping giant in this whole thing because he's one of the main guys.
It doesn't feel like a main guy.
But it doesn't feel that way right now. But
no.
I mean, he's kind of looming because we're wondering what Hangman's Wembley thing is, and it's like. I'm not saying I would go back to that, but that feels like something they would go back to. So I don't really know.
Yeah, that feels like they're like pull the lever thing. The Hurt Syndicate, you never know. They could be there.
I forgot all about the Syndicate.
I'd fucking love to see the Syndicate again. I don't know where love to see him again. The Demand.
If I worked in AEW, I'd pitch a brand split just for my own mental health. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying, can we split these people just so it does?
Okay,
night, you know?
I will say actually. Okay, here's the one thing with Stadium Stampede. They just did Stadium Stampede.
They did, but
they could do it again.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but when has Tony ever give a fuck about like we just did it, we can't go? You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
true. Fuck it, I'm locking in Stadium. I feel
and it's always a hit. The Stadium Stampede always gets over live. The one in New York was great.
Stampede. Oh, I had a blast with that. Yeah, I thought Jericho should have retired right then and there.
Could Swerve team with someone for the trios, but that's a good point. It won't be with Parker and Trench, but could he team with someone?
Oh man,
difficult.
I don't know. I actually don't know. This is like.
I mean, him linking back up with the Syndicate after what they did initially would be fun, but it feels unlikely.
I know some New Japan guys who would be a great backup for Swerve. I know they're not.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. Is Samoa Joe on this show? Is he?
I think he could be in the Gauntlet. If he's around, he'll do the Gauntlet. Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the members of Private Party are hurt right now, so it can't be them.
Fuck those poor guys, man. Jesus.
Terrible luck.
Maybe it's Swerve, Austin, and Kofi. That could be the debut.
Maybe that would be a twist. Yes, I don't expect it, but it would be a twist.
Maybe a twist. Buddy Matthews will be in the Gauntlet.
He was like this year's Juice Robinson. Remember, like the random surprise we got.
Hopefully, he doesn't come back clean shaven because that scared the fuck out of me last year.
That was one of the funniest looks of all time. Juice went out there looking like he was part of Chronic. That was fucking amazing.
It was ridiculous. Man, I don't know, dude. Good Hangman and Brodito against Swerve and two others. Yeah, but we need the two others.
Yeah, maybe it's Trench. Yeah, I don't know.
Assuming Swerve's even on the show at all. You never know. He could just not
be.
That's
a fair question at this point.
It's really weird. He actually could just not be on the show. Like, actually. Yeah. There's been no indication.
We're going to have to face it that, like, people are just going to be left off. Like,
so here's the thing. I agree with you. However, history would suggest that Tony will find a way to get most people on somehow.
Yeah, if he sees them with any he will.
This is not about Swerve, to be clear, because Swerve's a top guy, but in some cases that isn't always the show's advantage, right? But that is like there's going to be matches added late.
So right now we're looking at 11 matches. So hold on, I'm going to run this card down in full, and I want you to tell me how this sounds. Okay, so it's Willow Mercedes, Omega Ospreay, Cope and Christian against the Bucks. Brawling Birds Divine Dominion, the Casino Gauntlet, the Don Callis Family Soap Opera 3-Way, Kevin and Darby, Moxley and Switchblade, Hangman and Brodito against some combination of the Death Riders, Triangle of Madness against Team Stardom, and a Stadium Stampede of some sorts. 11 matches.
That's basically the card.
That feels correct. That actually feels correct. Yeah, that feels like what they're going to do.
Okay, so I want to occasionally do this on the show, folks. This is a brief segment like we did here, because I do think it gives you perspective on the degree of moving pieces in these matters, because holy fuck, dude. The factions, all the different
so many
ingredients you have to figure out.
There's now a fucking tournament now that we have to account for now. Starts tomorrow.
Yes. The Mad King is in that. Tomorrow, I think.
Him and Jake Doyle, yeah. That Dave clip still.
All right, we're going to follow that with some more fantasy booking here. What the fuck are they going to do in Toronto with Punk and KO?
I think Kevin's winning the belt.
Really?
I think he's winning the belt.
I've thought about this. He might.
I
think there's a legitimate possibility Punk will drop it to him.
So I guess the bigger question is, and Oracle, I'm intrigued where you stand on this. The bigger question, I think, really is he going to be a babyface or a heel long term? What is it? Where does he stand with Sammy? Kevin, this is. Like, he's going to be a babyface in Toronto, but, like, what's the long-term direction? It feels like Sammy's going to be involved, right? Like, where are we going here? What do we think?
Yeah. I don't know. A part of me feels like with the match being 2 weeks away, it doesn't feel like they're going to do one and done here. It seems like they might not do it immediately in 3 weeks later, whatever, but like it feels like it's going to be something that involves Sammy. And then...
Which I think you have to be careful with. Because...
I would not be stunned if... Because, I mean, let's just be honest. This regime loves multi-person matches.
Yeah.
They just set up some sort of triple threat between the three.
I will go a step further. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up in a situation where they do a four-way with Randy and Cody equally. So there's a lot of moving pieces here, and it's very difficult to figure out what's coming up, which is not a bad thing.
Sure.
As long as they know.
Yeah.
I want to be very careful where I word this. Kevin and Sammy should always be linked in some form or fashion. That's their story. That's who they are, right? I would be hesitant to immediately slot Kevin back in, like, he's Sammy's big bro position. Kevin was out for 18 months, and people love Kevin Owens. CM Punk, as long as CM Punk's got, a pair of boots and he's healthy, he can be in main event matches. It feels like you have an opportunity to really kind of crack it open and get Kevin, like, in that, that tier that he flirts with a lot. I feel like Sammy accidentally costing Kevin Owens would immediately return him to a position that's really familiar to fans, to be honest.
I sort of like the idea of Sammy and Punk getting into a sort of bitter rivalry, a blood feud of sorts,
separate from the belt.
to the Drew Punk feud in 2024.
Yeah.
I actually like the idea of that, but it doesn't feel. I don't know. I'm just getting my feet wet again in terms of watching the TV, so I don't know, but
right.
It doesn't seem like that would be the case.
Here's the other part. I mean, I mentioned Randy and Cody, right? Randy kind of has to get his win back.
Mm-hmm.
The issue there is he has to beat Cody, and man, I had a lost thing Cody needs right now is doing a fucking job to Randy Orton. So it's like they've got themselves in a real... It's a challenge. Now, again, this can be a good thing, right? It can be a good thing because if you have Punk, Sammy, Kevin, Randy, Cody, who else? Help me out here.
Gunther and Finn Balor.
Finn, who we just very generously applied him there. We're going to keep him there. Thank you. That's a good point. Finn, there you go. That's got a lot of potential, but it also it's challenging because you have a lot of kind of mouths to feed there. And I think it would feel to me, and this is just and again, I know people love them together. I get it. If we leave Toronto and it's like Sammy cost Kevin, they're going to feud, it's cool. But man, it just feels so familiar. Whereas like him beating Punk for the belt is a holy shit, or him doing something more with Punk, or him doing something more with even whoever. I don't know. What do you think here, Donnie? Am I off base?
No, I think you're right. I think first of all, I think I'm really glad they're doing it in Toronto because I think the idea of Punk building off this sort of prickly, maybe I am just an arrogant piece of shit, sort of ideology that Kevin Owens spewed tonight. I think the match is going to be on the atmosphere for that match is going to be fucking insane in Toronto. I think it's really cool. And God, do they need exciting things on their TV right now. So I think it's really cool that they said, fuck it, we're going to do this on television. I think there's money in the idea of not a story where Punk is like, man, maybe Kevin's right. and he like redeems himself, but maybe this idea of like, think of it this way. He came back after 3 months and basically did not degrade in spot at all. He just reassumed the same role he was in when he left at WrestleMania. I think there's something to be said for the idea that he loses to Kevin in Toronto and he has to kind of go through his own trials where he looks at the lay of the land and he looks at the main event scene and he goes, it's not that easy. I can't just assume the role of CM Punk anymore. I have to work a little harder because I'm older. I have to work a little harder because the competition's stiffer. And you have him sort of go through all these different phases where he gets to go through all the main event guys again. Because if you look at it, right, like the Gunther match last year, he beat Gunther, but they really played it off like he had survived Gunther. Even Finn Balor, they framed that story as like Finn really gave him a run. Yeah. And you go through this thing where Punk really has to rediscover what he can really do in the ring at this point in his career. And it ultimately all leads him back to the title. I think this is part of where I stand. I don't know if you're going to get to do this again with Kevin. I don't know how, like,
that's my fear.
There is, when he says he may only have 2 years left, I think you have to treat that as such. He may legitimately only have 2 years left. You don't want to play with time in this case. And man, as long as CM Punk's go, you can always give him the title and people are going to believe it. I don't think that there's any harm in, and we just did this 2 years ago.
And Kevin, if he was to win the belt, has a heel work with him, Randy, because that was the match we didn't get.
Yes, that was the match we didn't get. Yeah. And hell, if you want to do the Sammy match, that works better with the title as Sammy is the prickly heel. Like, oh my God, like you came back and you've already ruined my life. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I just, the genuine truth is, the decision that has to be made is what is the WrestleMania match? I mean, that's the truth. Right?
Yeah,
that's what.
Yes.
Because listen, it sounds silly. We're in August. The way that their shit is like paced.
You have to
figure out what the fuck everyone's doing at Mania, because that's how you can work backwards. Now, the issue obviously is that that's been a real issue in recent years, getting people to commit to stuff and getting creative to commit to stuff. I don't think Kevin Owens is winning for a second, but I do think it's something they have to kick around, I think.
There's really no harm in doing it.
I agree. Yeah.
If I'm the booker, if I'm Triple H, I look at Kevin and it's like, okay, it was 10 years ago when he has one world title reign.
Right.
It is a crime that since then, it speaks to how great Kevin is that he has had such an incredible WWE career that he didn't need a world title. You know, he's one of those guys, didn't need it. However, at the same time, it's still a fucking crime. He didn't have at least not just one more, 2 or 3 mixed in there in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You just had this scare with him where he was out for 18 months and able to come back. I give it to him now.
Yeah.
I think I agree.
First off, it makes sense. But second, like, we're really sorry that we fucked up and like you didn't have a second reign to this point. Here you go.
And honestly, to Oracle's point, if Sammy was the finish, you could, like, Punk and Sammy could do a lot with the non-title program.
Which they have been building to subtly, I will say, Oracle. They'll do, like, Sammy's really consistent in that, like, his whole thing is he just wants to beat the shit out of CM Punk. Like, that's been his thing since he lost the belt. Is he specifically is like, I'm gonna get this guy, I'm gonna beat his ass.
And they had that segment tonight. And the other thing is, you know, it's not good when they do it for 3 or 4 years straight, like they did in the Attitude Era. But sometimes it's good to hot potato the title.
It is. It's fun.
Not Vince Russo style every week, right?
Right.
But every couple of months, you kind of, there's, because what it does is it actually, it's actually a perfect time to do that because they are reeling from falling off a cliff from their boom. So this is a perfect time to, like,
experiment. Yeah.
Yes, experiment and add some energy to their main event scene.
Yeah. Roman Reigns held that title for 25 fucking years.
And the biggest advantage, if this is something they're still committed to, which I presume it is, of Kevin winning the belt, is that would presumably open things up for Gunther a lot.
Yeah.
Because he would actually have someone that could, like, not to say he can't work Punk, he can, but, like, that you have a lot of direct. That's
Gunther and Kevin's fresh, right? And to Jack's point, like, one of the biggest missed opportunities is that they didn't give Kevin the belt at Saturday Night's Main Event in 2020. When they brought back the Winged Eagle, he absolutely should have won the belt for that 1 month.
Yes.
And Cody, and here's the thing: if you still want to do Cody and Cena, Cody winning it back at the Rumble, literally, you could have just done the exact same thing, and it wouldn't have harmed anyone. All you would have done is made the TV more interesting with the run that Kevin was on and the character he was playing. I think you have a chance now, and he's in a much more interesting main event because last year it was literally just Cody and Kevin, and that was it. This time you have so many different characters, so many different routes. I think it's a massive missed opportunity if you don't take it now. And again, who's to say you get a better chance than this now? People, dude, we were robbed of Kevin Owens for 18 months. There was a chance up until a month ago he was never wrestling again. You have to take this chance now while you got him.
I'm not as hell-bent on it to the point where I'll be mad if it doesn't happen. I just, if Punk is keeping it in Toronto, I hope the finish is something that sets up a rematch and not something that sets up Sammy Kevin part 900. I know it'll be good. It's always been good.
It's always,
but I don't want it to be a one-off if they're going to, not switch it. So that's where I stand on it. But that's an interesting one. Okay, for last thing on Kevin Owens, because he is the title of this program. So I prepared this in case the segment tonight sucked. one match you want Kevin Owens to have. He's been out for 18 months. There's still guys he hasn't touched. Donnie, who do you want?
Wow. I was going to say Chad Gable, but they already worked.
Doesn't it? This will be a new match.
Oh.
Who do you want to see him work with now he's come back?
I would love, I really think, I'd love to see him and Gunther do something more expansive. I'd love to see them do something more expensive.
Khalid, give me some non-WWE flavor. One Kevin Owens match. He says, I'm doing one match outside of WWE. Who do you want to wrestle?
Kevin Owens? Ooh.
Yeah.
Fuck. Idolo Ice.
There you go. Kevin's promo on him would be fucking hilarious,
awesome.
by the way. All right, Oracle, one match. Who you got?
Bro, I can't help it. I can't help myself, man. I like Ethan Page, you know.
Oh yeah!
I gotta see Kevin and Ethan.
That'd be
Yes.
Give me 3.5 stars on the fucking SmackDown.
Yes.
You know, I gotta see it
Fucking
once.
go. Yes.
Jackie, who you got, mate?
Oh, God, that's a fucking loaded question, dude.
Yeah.
I always wanted him to beat Roman.
Yeah. They had some really good matches through the years.
I always like,
Awesome,
and again, and that's there's a story you can tell if you run into a program with them where Roman's just like, you can't get me, you can never get me, and Kevin fucking gets him.
That
Title
was,
or not?
honestly, fuck. They should have just brought him back on that side, dude. Because that would have been a big program for Roman. Instead of, I like LA Knight, but it's just.
Yeah.
He could have imagine Kevin came out and beat Roman.
That would have been unbelievable. Dude.
Actually, you know what? LA and Kevin would be a good program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I just flipped it the other way.
That'd be
That
awesome.
actually sounds
I think-
good.
Dude, Kevin and
Yeah.
Nick Aldis, let's do it. Let's get the big man back in the saddle.
It's an interesting one. I'm not against it. I want to see Jacob. I think I did some tag stuff, but I want to see him singles.
That'd be awesome.
Our friend JJ, the great JJ Williams, for 23 months. Do you think Mick Foley will be in the casino corner? This was covered earlier. I do not. Jackie's saying yes. There was a different pitch made, which we'll have to reference again. But
I think that's.
I don't think so.
I think if anything, if he is in there, it's going to be the feeling out for if he can do a match.
Yeah, because he sees it higher than those, right?
A one-on-one. Put him in there and see what he can
I
do.
didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's actually.
Our friend Chris sent a gold coin as well as a 6-7. If Caden was here, he'd be thrilled. Thank you, Chris. Hired a member for 9 months. Hello, Grinners. Kevin Owens is generational. He's pretty awesome. I like him very, very much.
It's my favorite
Yeah,
SmackDown in fucking months, and it's just because he was there.
By the way, Jackie, I meant to tell you, Eddie Hearn hit a fucking 6-7 thing, and I was distraught, bro. One of the worst days in the history of Great Britain. Yeah, it was on like an interview. He did 6-7, and I was like, what has happened to us? You know? Wow.
Look at Orton.
Yeah, so
I love him so much, but every now and again.
For wrestling fans, he brought up Nick Khan, and he said Nick Khan called about Dana doing the Joshua Fury fight, and he basically told him to fuck off.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Andy, member 23 months. How would you rate Punk and KO out of 7? I would give it a 10. I would give it a 7. That's why I could give my answer right there. Donnie, what'd you give it? I'll give it a 7.
I think I'd probably go 7.5.
Yeah, it was a good segment. When Oracle comes back, I'll ask him.
They'll have better. Hopefully they have another
Fired
one
up
next
with
week.
an Uncle Ert. Oh baby,
Oh,
baby. All right, folks. We're about to talk about some pro wrestling. Let's get into this. This is going to be a pretty brief segment because we've got 2 grinners on the tape study for this one. But Donnie,
Yeah.
CMLL, Commander, Masquerade Dorada.
Yes,
This
sir.
was a day 5, was it not? Am I right in saying that?
I
I think it was a day
believe-
5.
Let me double check, but I'm pretty confident saying this was a Dave Meltzer 5 stars. It
Yes.
was indeed a Dave Meltzer
Yes.
5 stars.
This was on paper kind of, and I'm not familiar with how often they've worked, so I apologize. Excuse my ignorance. On paper, this was like the ultimate. Holy shit, they're gonna do some crazy nutty stuff. And I thought, to the match's benefit, it totally relished that framework and that billing,
Yes,
and was like, we're gonna give you 50 minutes of the craziest shit we can. And it really was. All thrills in that regard at 15 minutes. Donnie, what did you make of Dorada and Commander, mate?
I had a lot of fun. I think, to me, if you're going to do a match like this, I hate matches that half commit to what they want to be. Like, when you look at Commander Masquerade on the billing, this is the kind of match you want them to have. Exciting, thrilling, some crazy shit that you go, how the fuck does anyone have the body control to pull that off? Commander has been a really cool story this year, in how he had the injury and he had some extra time off, and he's come back in the best rhythm of his career. To me, I think he's been fucking awesome, not just in CMLL but even in AEW, and it's just been really, really cool. I thought the match it's one of those matches that I just think is really fun. It's the kind of match that you turn on and you just kind of go, whoa, every 30 seconds, like, holy shit, what a sick dive, or oh my God, what a fucking way to get into the Destroyer, a fucking super move at the top. Like, it's just a bunch of random moves that in your head, you're like, man, if I pulled that off, I'd probably break my fucking neck. And like, you're watching two guys pull it off. But there's also like a real groundedness to it, weirdly. Like, some of the stuff you can see them struggle and hesitate to do. And like, yes, a little bit of that is like they're pulling off some really crazy stuff. So you want to think it through. But it's to the match's benefit that it's kind of more patient in that approach. And so I had a really fun time with it, and it was just really cool. And again, Commander's been tremendous, especially as of late. The last couple of months, he's been really, really fun. So, really fun
for
match.
Sure. I like the match a lot. I think just generally, this is the way I'm as a wrestling fan. Like, I think there's something to be said for a contrast that I was lacking a little bit here, because it was a lot of to me, it blurs together for me. And I understand that's me. It's a me problem. The crowd loved the match. I think both guys are more fun for me to watch against someone who's like a foil, rather than like being mirror image stuff. They nailed almost everything they did, and they did some really intricate stuff. There was like only a couple like missteps, and that's saying something, because they did some crap. I think Commander actually was even more nuts here than usual. He did some bonkers shit, but yeah, it was a good time. It was a fireworks display, which is what you want from these two. I don't think it's worth a look, especially if you're a fan of either guy. I think it's definitely worth a look. I do want to mention, speaking of being a fan of either guy, I checked in with our glorious Roderick Strong, who was back in CMLL to wrestle Hechicero again, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just don't think this pairing works, and it bums me out. Donald, you seem to be higher on it than me. Tell me what you thought.
Yeah, I think for me, part of it is I thought their first match was really bad. Unfortunately, I thought it was really, really bad, and I thought Roddy particularly looked really lethargic and lackadaisical in the first match. This one, there was a little bit more spirit and bite to his work. However, I just think like there's always a novelty to this pairing that I think helps the matches a lot. Just kind of seeing these guys in the ring together is really cool. And I thought, if nothing else, Roddy was better at just playing a more simplistic outline than like in the first match. You can definitely see in the beginning he's trying to go for it. This match, he kind of settles into a simple but effective groove, and I thought Hechicero matched him well. And it helps that, I don't know if maybe I just haven't been noticing, but it feels like Hechicero's popularity has really grown in recent months. It feels like it's really gotten to like, I think it's been maybe the highest it's ever been, and that really helps a lot. So I definitely thought the match was a big improvement on their first match, but still not at the heights that I would have wanted for this pairing, just because of who they are on paper.
I wanted to like it. It didn't really scratch the itch for me. I don't really think it benefited from Roddy just being more direct with his approach, but just a lot of hesitation and clumsiness, and they're two guys that don't associate with those words, so it's kind of a bummer. It happens. A couple of weeks ago on this program, folks, our beloved Noviak took a very firm stance against Yota Tsuji. And it has to be said, Tsuji, I think, has responded accordingly, fired back. And we're going to discuss two matches this week. One with Oiwa, the other with Bolton, both of which I think are two of the best matches of the tournament. So, Khalid, before we even get into the specifics of these matches, what have you made of Tsuji's first G1 as IWGP champion, where it seems to me, Khalid, he has grown into the role as, like, leader, and frankly, almost every night he's main eventing, right? What have you made of his run so far in the tournament?
Let me tell you, bro. Man. Novi said he was saying something about, a guy who can only score in the fourth quarter, et cetera, et cetera. Let me tell you something, man. If we want to take the entire year, right, this year, 2026, Wrestle Kingdom is the tip-off, right? I want to say we're in maybe like middle of the third quarter right now. Yota Tsuji has dropped 25 in the first, second, and already has 25 in the third. All right, and we're not done yet. Okay, and that's what
incredible framework. That's excellent. Carry on.
So, if you look at this block before this G1 even started, you would know that this block was booked specifically for a Yota Tsuji story to put him and show him as the mountaintop currently in New Japan. Whether it's the rematch with Takeshita from Wrestle Kingdom, whether it's facing the former champion that everyone loves, which is Hiroki Goto, or the rematch of his debut match coming back from Excursion with Sonata, then the match with his elder Shingo, then the match with his faction mate who also wants to climb the mountain, Yuto, then also 2 other people who are climbing the mountain. They are very fucking close if you watch the matches with Oiwa and Ole. This entire A block is Yota Tsuji, the story, all right? And right now, it's at the fucking climax, no pun intended.
Oh, wow. It's so intended. Yeah.
Crazy. I don't know. I remember when I was on a couple weeks ago, and Joe and Donnie were on here with me, and they had said something about Yoda. They were saying how like they got certain people over Yoda, and I was like, I didn't say anything, but I was like, man, they're gonna regret this shit in like 2 fucking weeks. And then he comes out and he does a back-to-back performance. Fucking no, don't do that. Y'all got on here and y'all said I didn't say Yuya, and y'all said someone else, and I was like, there's no way.
I'm standing on it. Here's why.
Oh,
it's not a matter of what Yota Tsuji lacks, it's what the other guys offer. Oiwa is fucking awesome. And let's talk about the match. I don't know what the date on this was. It was like
this is August 1st.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Ryohei Oiwa, Yota Tsuji. This match was sorry, chat response there. This match was the best I've seen. Now I've watched a lot less than you, Khalid, but this is the best I've seen this tournament. I was in love with this one, and I think weirdly, in a strange roundabout way, I think the match benefited from not being the main event because I think it allowed Tsuji, and I want to be clear, Tsuji's had a great tournament before this, but it allowed him to like wrestle a match more in line with Oiwa's sensibilities, right? With the body part work. A more kind of cerebral, tactical, deliberate approach. Oiwa is just so refreshing. He's actually someone I think Oracle should watch because Oracle, he's got the headlock over as a finish. He's doing the headlock as a finish. This is pretty groundbreaking stuff for a young fellow in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yes, exactly. Yes, so the Oracle's face, but he's the headlock was a big part of this match. Yeah, there was arm work, shoulder work. Tsuji target in the back, of course, with his submission finish. I just thought this match was so refreshing, and I think, to be completely honest, even as someone from the outside looking in, I'll go back to Cleveland in a second, but I think watching these young guys like flourish and kind of almost grow into their role and their push, I think it's the most interesting thing in wrestling right now, to be honest. It's just my personal feeling. I'm going to go back to Cleveland in a second, but first, Donnie, let's talk Oiwa and Tsuji specifically. Yeah. Hell of a wrestling match.
Tanahashi Okada, Punk Roman, Oiwa Tsuji. The 3 best matches I've seen all year. I thought this. Yeah. Just to get blunt, because people pop at the star ratings, I gave this 4 3/4. I think this match is fucking absurdly good. The idea that Oiwa, as a young man, has decided, I'm going to get the fundamentals over to this degree. And the beautiful thing is the things you practice are sometimes the things that prove to be your pitfall. In this match, his assistance, because here's the thing that strikes me about this tournament, because it's not just his story, it's Uemura's story, it's Oleg's story, it's even Tsuji's story. Everyone is out to prove themselves. Everyone is out to prove that they are worthy of being in the G1 climax. And sometimes that works if you keep fighting and you're resilient. Sometimes that gets you through that wall. But when you're running into someone with the experience of Yota Tsuji, sometimes that guy's going to counter the headlock with a back suplex, or he's just going to drop you on your injured ribs. And I thought that the way that both guys sold their injuries coming into the match, both the arm and the ribs, with Oiwa's done a great job of selling throughout, even against someone like Great Khan. I thought that allowed the match to really stand out, and it allowed them to your credit, Joe, to take their time, right? The match built slowly. It progressed naturally. And I just thought by the end, that energy from the crowd was absolute. It's the thing that you dream of, right? If you're a wrestler, you strive to get that reaction from that audience because of this match. And it's a match that I appreciate more because it stuck to its guns. It didn't try to divert away from yes, it becomes a bomb fest by the end, but it's earned, right? The bombs are earned.
It's different. To make a direct comparison, Tsuji and Yota and Ice had a clear vision, but it did feel like they sacrificed some of it for the end. I thought they did a much better job of maintaining that, Donnie, to your point. Definitely. Yeah.
And it's definitely. I just thought, like, when you're watching a match like this, and no matter what, every single time Oiwa's in trouble, it's the headlock. That's all he knows. And I think it's a beautiful story of sometimes the things you know don't always work. And it's an example of you can tell such a powerful story through just simple movements. A headlock is
wrestling.
Not, yeah, exactly. Like you're not doing a lot. You're just simply grabbing a guy and holding him there. But you can see it in his face. He's growing more desperate and urgent as the match goes on and as the crowd gets louder and louder, and Tsuji keeps battling and battling. And you can see him by the end. He's not just holding on to a headlock. He's holding on to everything that he has stood for in this tournament. And I was completely captivated. I was hooked. This match was, I haven't stopped thinking about it in a week. This match is fucking unbelievable.
I loved it too. Khalid, Oiwa. Again, I want to be clear. Much as I love him, your points about Tsuji are apt, and his versatility, I think, has really started to announce itself in this tournament. Your thoughts on this one, Khalid?
I definitely don't blame anyone for like previous Tsuji statements, because before I will say before the G1, definitely thought he was a bomb guy for sure, and like you said, he's showing that he can do more than that. But what I like about this, or how I'm taking this Oiwa match, I'm kind of taking the Yudo Ice and the Oiwa match as kind of a two-parter thing, because Yoda, he spends all of that arm energy, all that arm health, everything on that Yudo Ice match, and it almost cost him in the Oiwa match. And I feel like that's something that's fucking fire, because with the G1, if you truly care and you truly want to be at the top, you're going to have your story be consistent throughout the G1. It's not a match.
That's the best thing about the G1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, you did this in this match, we're disregarded, we're going on to the next match. No, this is something that keeps moving on forward and forward. And something that Yota Tsuji had to learn there was that you can't just focus on one shark in this water, because there's 5, there's 6. You cannot just put it all into one person, and then the next one comes in, and now you're down a match because you've put everything into that one guy. Mm-hmm. And right here, he again almost fucked it up right here with Oiwa. And then in the next match, he does fuck it up. Right. He does fuck it up, and he does lose the match. Yes. And Oleg is in the similar, like in terms of being in New Japan, he's in a similar state as Oiwa. They both came back in 2023, 2024. So in terms of where they're at compared to Yota Tsuji, they're right there, and they're breathing down his neck. And Yuya Uemura and Shota, they're not in this block, but we cannot forget about them. They're also bringing it's just a story of
Oscar too.
Yeah, Oscar as well. Like, everyone is breathing down his neck. It's a story of Yota Tsuji. Can he handle the pressure? Can he make the clutch shots?
I think this is an example of it's something that I think at times it's struggled with in the States, not because anyone's fault, but because of the way the industry's set up. This is the beauty of having the room to, like, this is the deal. You're going to be the top guy for this next little bit. You're going to need to step up to it, or someone else is going to be in that spot. And that happens in all of wrestling, let's be clear, but there is not 150 guys underneath Tsuji vying for that. Like, it's very clear who his competition is. Like, everyone involved knows. And so each time those guys wrestle, there's like a real meat to that matter. Let's talk about the Bolton Oleg match, which was from 5 days later, right? The 6th.
August 6th,
was Korakuen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This match was unbelievable. I preferred the Oiwa match, but I'm talking by a hair. Mm-hmm. The thing about Bolton is, Khalid, physically he has all the tools you'd expect, but what makes him really special is he's a hell of a babyface. Like, he can sell and fight from underneath. That is, to be honest, he's like a 3-year pro.
Yes.
That's the thing that makes him stand out most to me. What did you make of that one from Korakuen?
Listen, when I look at Oleg, I look at New Japan finally capitalizing on something that they should have capitalized on like decades ago. Imagine getting Shelton Benjamin or Kurt Angle directly out of college, and then he joins your roster, and now he's dedicated to learning the language, learning how y'all do wrestling, and he's dedicated to staying there and actually, being dedicated to pro wrestling. And that's what Oleg is just 20 years later after those before have passed. And again, 2023, 3 years, only been professional wrestling for 3 years. Had the help of Nagata and Tanahashi. I mean, you can definitely tell that Tanahashi has been in his ear about babyface performances and giving the crowd what they need, and also building off of your opponent, and taking a beating and then being able to also deliver one after receiving a beating. And he does that very well. My favorite spot in this match, Oleg finally has Yoda up for the kamikaze. He goes to the corner because he has to do a run up and roll it in. Yoda holds on to the rope. He says, "Oh, you want to hold on to the rope in the corner?" Steps up to the second rope and then does the avalanche kamikaze. Favorite spot in the match. That
people blew too. Yeah.
It was absolutely crazy, absolutely wild. Oleg, last year or 2024 was his first G1, and right there he was a young lion in the G1. He then dropped it after that. 2025, people start to notice a bit more. They're like, Oleg, he might be something, but we don't know yet. This right here, this is like
this match felt like him arriving as a main event guy, because this was a 25-minute main event match, and that matters in the sense that as much as we believe there can be value to a contrast in the main event, this was him making a statement as to he can have those matches. He can wrestle the IWGP title any day of the week, no question. I thought, Donnie, I'm intrigued you won the match. I thought this was also notable. We mentioned versatility for Tsuji. Man, he was the mountaintop here. He was the mountain for Bolton to climb, as Khalid mentioned, and he really, I thought, had maybe his most mature performance here in a way that was very selfless, and he leaned into St. Khalid and I talk about a lot, which is that kind of understated arrogance. It's a little less understated here, and it really let Bolton soar. What did you make of this one, Adonis?
Yeah, I'm gonna set the stage again. This was another one I gave 4 3/4. This was again. This fucking G1, bro, is fucking on. This A block is fucking nuts, bro. Like dude. My favorite spot of the match, just what we're talking. It's a moment when Oleg he's trying so fucking hard to get Tsuji up for a powerbomb, and he finally gets him, and he collapses in his leg. He just collapses. He hits the powerbomb, and he doesn't even sell it. He just lies there, face planted on the mat, he's just laying there. And that, to me, if you showed someone that still, that's the whole match right there. The picture paints the match. It was a match where Bolton Oleg, for the first time, maybe not just in this tournament, but in his career, had to work to be Bolton Oleg. He had to earn the right to be Bolton Oleg. Tsuji was mean. He was working over the ribs. That G blaster off the apron, holy shit. He clears them. He's meticulously working over the rib. It's almost like, interestingly, the Oiwei match works in conjunction in the sense of he took Oiwei's approach of like, every chance I get, I'm going to snuff out the momentum. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to take it to the mat. And he did that in a way. He kept working over the ribs. He kept working over the arm. And there was such a snugness and a scrappiness to his work where at times, too, in the late stages, he almost turns frantic. He's like, what the fuck? This guy's charging at me? What the? And then he stops him, and Oleg just yells in his face, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going anyway. And you can just feel the shift in character and in approach throughout the match. And by the end, you can tell that this was sort of like, to me, what the Yuya ZSJ match was for Yuya. This was a statement match for Bolton Oleg. Like, I'm here. When you talk about the future of this company, you don't have to just talk about these guys. My name is right here. And I thought this match was, again, a tremendous example of, if you build a match strategically and naturally throughout, you earn your run time. And I thought these guys earned it. And the crowd, oh my God, this was unbelievable.
Korakuen didn't take convincing as to him being one of the main guys. And he's been, don't get me wrong, he's been over for a minute, but
yeah, I
thought the reaction here was pretty noticeable.
Yeah,
excellent stuff. Focus really there, folks, on Tsuji. In a moment, though, before the show's over, awesome. We are going to dedicate some time to just some quick hits, call outs. Donnie, if I don't pitch that, remind me, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Before we do, Oracle, Andy asked earlier, rating out of 10 for the promo segment. I think we both go at 7s, Donnie and I. Where did you stand?
I would say, again, not my thing, but if I were to give it something, I would give it. I actually agree with that. I think a 7 is probably the most accurate rating.
folks, 8 years ago, the Oracle of Wrestling led a heinous campaign to ensure that Mustafa Ali defeated Buddy Murphy in the New York 50. This has been a point of contention in our friendship now for many years. However, I thought it was time to make good of this and ask the Oracle of Wrestling to watch a match from TNA in order to reunite with Mustafa Ali. Now, here's the thing, folks. The Oracle of Wrestling has actually seen Mustafa Ali a lot because 4 months ago on this show, he represented the TNA part of the program. But for the sake of this conversation, we're going to pretend this was like a sort of long-time reunion among old friends.
Sure.
So he checked in with Mustafa Ali, a match that he had recently with Jason Notch, last week, I believe, with Jason Notch in Philly. And I got to tell you, Oracle, jokes and bits aside, I truly believe Ali is better now than he's like ever been. I really feel that way. And I think no one's aware it's happening. I thought he was great in this. What did you make of this match, Oracle?
Yeah, this was really, really good. They worked a really good pace. They fit a lot in the 15 minutes that they had, right? The only part that felt even slightly rushed in terms of like sort of sacrificing selling was the final near fall that Hotch kicked out of. But even then, he did a really good job of letting the sort of build up to the finish breathe when he was selling on the apron. So even in that did irritate me a little bit. There was still enough. They still made sure to allow the drama to build up right before he hit his big offensive moves and finishes to take the win. I mean, this had all the stuff he wanted, you know, big spots for modern wrestling, big near falls, you know, some smoke and mirrors with some interference spots and whatnot. Actually got some pretty good crowd reactions. But it had the big spot in the middle, man. I mean, a springboard superplex from the apron to the announce table. That's insane. A completely psychotic spot that I really liked that they basically had to like sell for 5 minutes.
Yeah, had to.
I mean, who the fuck wouldn't sell for 5 minutes?
I think Hotch was struggling for breath, dude. He
clearly got the shit knocked out of him. You know, like just absolutely insane spot. Legitimately one of the maybe the craziest spot I've seen all year. Like shocking that it would have happened in that match, but I think it really added to it. Like
it did, yeah.
It really, really makes the match memorable, right? It's one thing to say Hotch had this big win, but to have a spot like that really kind of gives that nice big asterisk of like, okay, this is something worth
and
watching and then perhaps revisiting even.
Yeah, it multiplied the heat because the match had way more heat after that. Like it was,
absolutely.
You know, in its own way, it was a worthwhile sacrifice in its own way.
Right.
Yeah. Man, I was just so amazed by how big the title win felt, considering what it was and where it was. Because, like, listen, I don't know how many people they had in Philly. It looked like a pretty thin house from what Eyes told me, which is fine. That's wrestling, right? But on the finish, you would have believed it was packed based on just how they reacted. Like, it felt big by the end, and that was a credit to their efforts. Hodge is really good, by the way. Really good. Him and Skylar have been a good team for a minute. Donnie, you watched this closer to like last week, right? You saw this. So,
yeah. I think it was right the day I sent it to you, I think.
Yeah, right. So what did you make of it, mate?
Dude, this is why I think it's important that we do shows like this, because I think it's a reminder that there's so much wrestling going on out there, and not even just that, there's so many great wrestlers all over that don't even like Mustafa Ali's a name we all know just because we've seen him in WWE, but like no one really knows that the best work of his career is just happening in the shadows right now. He is absurdly good. He is in serious fucking form right now, and he was on one. His bumping is still, I mean, if someone told me he was the best bumper in wrestling, I'd believe him. Like he bumps like an animal, and he has really found his groove as a heel worker in the sense of he works with such aggression and nastiness. Like he really makes you want to see him get his ass kicked. And I thought the wonderful thing about the superplex spot that Oracle brought up is that it felt so natural to the match. This idea that Jason Hotch has been under his thumb for so long. Like, this was his big breakout. He's like, fuck it, dude. I may never get a big shot like this again. I just have to go all out or else it was for nothing. And it was just a tremendous gamble to take. And I mean, I'm glad that they let both. I don't want to say they let the moment breathe because they probably were just in the most immense pain in the world for that 5-6 minute stretch. Man, I just thought this match was so awesome. It was cool to see a TNA match have this much heat and excitement. And I think it honestly has made it so their rematch in like 2-ish weeks, they're doing a rematch at Lockdown, is like one of my more anticipated matches for the month. I'm really excited to see what they can do in a cage. And I thought this match was a perfect use of TV because they maximized their minutes, limited to the commercial breaks, but they also managed to fit so much in there. I even didn't find the interference spots too distracting. I thought it worked in the fabric of the match. And I thought that, sometimes incorporating a man's family into it, I sometimes can get a little over the top. I thought they did a really good job of implementing it in this match, right, where they just did kind of solo shots here and there to kind of add to the atmosphere. And Jason's performance from underneath, man, I mean, like you said, Joe, him and Skylar have been good for like a while, just kind of secretly, but like this felt like him taking it as his big breakout performance. And man, did he step up. I wasn't
surprised because they had a match last year that was killer. It was like May last year. I reviewed it on Productions.
Was it Against All Odds, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was the show.
It's a terrific match. So I wasn't surprised. And, look, Hodge is not a big personality, but I think his work speaks for itself. Ali is, I don't know what the long term is for Ali. It's none of my business, but I would suggest that while he's in TNA, they should probably get the belt on him because
him and Nemeth could be like an actual, or him and assuming, I don't know if Jeff is going to win the belt next week or whatever, but they could do that.
I'm not sure. Time will tell, folks. I don't want to mention before we get out of here, we're going to do some quick hits. I also want to say that we were actually going to do a feedback segment on this show, which is something we're going to do occasionally where fresh off squad selection, I was going to go from tally together what the audience said. I am still going to do that, but just this week's show was kind of loaded because SmackDown was notable, which
never happened.
Isn't often, there's not often going to be 3 things to happen from SmackDown, right? So that'll be coming up soon. I do want to say, if you're in the chat right now, and there's over 8 of you here, and we hope you've all liked the stream and such, I am going to experiment with format, and one of the part of that is going to be, I should say, if you have a question in the chat, you have now a 3-minute window to ask it, and I'm going to try and answer some of them. Before I do that, Donny, get those questions in the chat. What would be your quick hits, mate? What did you see this week that you want to call out from the modern game that we didn't get to cover here?
Well, real quick, it's not modern, but I do think it's important to just mention the late, great Dory Funk Jr., who passed away this week. A tremendous wrestler. If you can, watch any of the tags with him and his brother against the Sheik and Abdul the Butcher. The series with Jumbo Saruta and Giant Baba is awesome. Any of his late state, even some of his late stuff, I really like the Slam rematch with Nick Bockwinkel. I know it's kind of weird that they had a 15-minute grappling match in 1993, but still pretty cool. So I think it's important to just shout out Dory Funk Jr., who passed away this week. In terms of the modern game, God, I couldn't have picked a worse time to do it, but I did go to my first ever independent wrestling show on Monday. I went to Produce Wrestling in Brooklyn. I haven't been in Brooklyn in quite some time since my uncle moved, so it was really cool. There's a lot of cool wrestlers on the card, so I thought it was just a nice way to, cross some of those people off. Got to give Shuri a fist bump, which felt, very cool. She has insane aura in real life. Yeah. Got to meet up with our guy Bosby, who's incredibly nice. Yeah, he got his ass kicked. We're going to have to talk about that because it looks bad on us. But he got his ass kicked. I actually would recommend that match a lot. I think him and Carl Greco-Malenko, if you're really into that, work, shoot style thing, battle arts, pride, all that stuff, I think it's about as good as you're going to get in the modern day. I thought they did a really good job of creating drama and tension, and the building was really hot for it. I was not prepared for how much people love Minoru Suzuki, which I guess is on me. It was unfucking believable, dude. He wrestled Hechicero, which on paper is one of the weirdest fucking matches he could have. And it was the loudest match on the whole show. It was outstanding how much people were into Minoru. And honestly, Hechicero got an incredible reaction. And that was really cool. Shuri, like I mentioned, is one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen live in my life. She is outstanding. We got a live performance of Mi Muero for Mystico, which was really cool. People threw their credit cards at him, which I don't think you should be throwing your credit cards at anybody, but they did that. It was, it was really, really fun. This is a cool story. So Josh Barnett wrestled on this show. So I took a picture of him and I sent it to Alex, and his response was, and I quote in all caps, "The last real worker."
Did you have a picture of Josh Barnett?
No, I took a picture of him in the ring, not with Josh Barnett.
My God.
No. No. And also, I didn't know that Violence is Forever came out to Zombie. Great song.
Oh, yeah.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
And Okada was there, which was really, really fucking cool. He was literally right in front of me. It was awesome. And I got clearance to share this story, and I think this is cool. So for anybody who saw the picture with Bosby, I was wearing a late night Grin shirt, and this will pop some people. I haven't shared this story yet. I was saving it for this. So I'm waiting outside for my Uber. By the way, in front of me were Billy Starks, Johnny Robbie, and Hazuki all eating a pizza after their match. It was very, very cool just to see wrestling out about. But I'm sitting there now waiting for my Uber, and someone taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Adonis." And he's like, "Young Donnie." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And legitimately, for the first time in my life, I'm not even joking. It was, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Sam from the Discord. He was there at the show with his friend, and he saw me waiting for my Uber, and he legit stopped me to like tell me how much he enjoyed the shows and enjoyed my presence on the show. And we just started talking about how much we liked the show. And like, I asked him about his, because he goes to a lot of indie shows in the area. So I was asking about his experiences. And it was like a legit, like 15-minute conversation while we're just waiting for our Ubers home or whatever. And it legitimately blew my mind. It was one of the most ridiculous things that's ever happened to me.
Sam did a hell of a job there. Shout out Sam, because immediately just brought you back down to earth with, tell me your name first. Let's make sure you're not that recognizable.
No.
And
He
then,
humbled me.
Sammy, huge put over the LNG branding, like JO without his hat. They said, "Oh, you're young Donnie."
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, he was fucking awesome. He's such a nice guy. His friend was really nice too. And I don't know. I wanted to share that, not because I just think it's really cool that like
that's awesome.
This platform is like people. We've done a good thing here, and it's really cool. And so shout out Sam and his buddy who was also really nice and popped me huge. He's really funny. So yeah, I had a hell of a time, and unfortunately, I popped very hard for low key, which I don't know if I should admit on a free show, but unfortunately,
who gives a shit, bro? I can't like I forgot all about. It actually feels like so long ago you were at that show that I forgot we hadn't even done this about it yet. But I saw people being like, I don't know if I can put over Produce. And I was thinking,
well, who can you put over?
I mean, listen, think what you will of it. I haven't got a horse in that race, but it's professional wrestling.
45 minutes talking about the whole wrestling.
Exactly. I feel like there's like a dissonance, like it's
but it was a hell of a time.
It seemed like a fun show. Their shows are very frightening to me watching from home because the amount of matches scare me.
Dude, it was a lot. Dude, they did a fucking 30-man rumble in the middle of it.
How long was the show?
I want to say like close to 5 hours, from like 7 to midnight. It was long, bro. Like they legit did a 30-man rumble where admittedly it popped me. The big surprise was Jeff Cobb.
Was it really?
It was.
I didn't even know he did it.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb was the surprise entrant in the rumble match, and he got an outstanding reaction. And you can guess what he did afterwards. He sat in the corner for most of the match like a fucking beast. He won Tour of the Islands and got eliminated. A real worker. Respect.
There's some questions in the chat for us. Before I get to those, there's one that I was going to ask Khalid for any call-outs. This is a specific one about G1, but any matches you saw this week, Khalid, you'd like to shout out that we didn't talk about in full here, G1 or not? Oh, shit, we can't hear him.
Are you muted, Khalid?
My bad. I'm gonna do G1 because that's just been my shit recently. So the two matches we mentioned today, the Oiwa and the in the Oleg match with Yoda, those are right at my top two. The third slot, I kind of want to go Callum and Zach, but then I also want to go to Keshta and Oleg. So
yeah,
I say it's a tie between those for the third spot, but those top two is probably gonna be that Oleg and that Oiwa match against Yoda right for the rest of the tournament.
Let's look at some of these questions here. Did you watch Lola and Kendall in the Underground match? And if so, do you love these goofy knockoff Bloodsport matches as much as I do? So Oracle and I did not, because we were recording for the LNG Productions Alexa gimmick, like that exact moment. I think we were doing that. Mm-hmm. Donnie, did you see this?
I did. Yeah, I did.
What do you think, mate?
I liked most of it. The gimmick's a lot for me, dude. The presentation of it's a lot. Having the people at ringside just stomping the mat's really distracting. Terrible. And I think that everything Lola and Kendall are really good at, I thought got completely diluted. However, I will say this. What really surprised me, I don't think Kendall's ever bumped as well as she did in that match. Her bumping was really fucking good in that match, which is not something that I particularly associated her with early in her career, and I think she's really come along in that way. So, and Lola had great intensity, and her striking looked good. That gimmick is a little much for me, unfortunately. So I thought it was way below their Great American Bash match and way, way, way below their match of the theater. But there's still some stuff to enjoy a little bit.
Spobs, I guess not after all, unfortunately. We're glad. We hope you enjoyed it though. 2011 TNA. I'm watching it together as a family at the Late Night Grin. It's been terrible. My favorite part of it, Jesus.
I feel like I know what it is for you.
Is that the year when Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle had that feud? And Kurt and China teamed up?
We're specifically watching the blue stuff, like when it changes to the blue Impact. So we've watched some of that. The best thing I've seen was the Jeff Jarrett Kurt Angle street fight.
I was gonna say, that had to be your favorite.
Lot brawl, whatever the fuck they called it.
They had really good chemistry, dude.
They did. I also saw a 6-minute Smojo Devon match that was very, very gutsy and honorable, which I appreciate. Devon's really over in the Impact Zone in 2011. No clue. What else
so
I liked?
Kurt Jarrett match a bloodbath by chance?
There's a little bit of blood, but it's like a shoot. It's like blood sport in the parking lot.
They do the bloodbath is Genesis 09, isn't it, Oracle? That's the one, the unsanctioned one. Genesis 09. That match is tremendous.
Was it Kurt or somebody takes a bump on their head twice?
Yeah, that match is amazing. Other things that are good in 2011.
You like the what was that one X Division 3? It was Kid Cash, Jimmy Rave, Aries, right? Was that the one? That was
good. Like? Low Key's back. That was good. There's some stuff. There's some flashes of life, Hudson. It's been fun. Do you think Mello is going over in Boston next week? I do not. But make a lot of sense.
I think the match will be very good, though. I think the match will be very good.
I feel like that would be a good pairing. Also on Driller's G1 run. Khalid, you can tell this, mate. Driller's G1 run thus far. Hopefully you're not muted.
Driller, he just had a fucking good match with fucking Aaron Wolf.
Yeah.
Aaron Wolf. Well, I know Aaron Wolf ain't a part of the question. Aaron Wolf. Congratulations.
You're all in. It.
Yeah. For sure. Absolutely.
Proud of my boy.
Driller. I've said it before when we did the Grin along for I want to say the last G1 card that we did, but I'm very happy that New Japan is deciding that they kind of want to invest a little bit into Driller, not as much as Oleg or Oiwe, anything like that, but they see that he's kind of a crowd favorite, and they know that he kind of wants to stay. I don't think he wants to leave. I don't think he wants to go. So they're giving him some wins over some big guys. They gave him the win over Yuya. So really enjoy his run. The G1 B block, I'm not gonna lie, I think it really did get thrown off by Shota getting injured.
Yeah, a lot.
On paper, I feel like that block was really supposed to be a very good flavor. Not saying that it's bad, it's just not as good as A. A is really
A is absurd.
It's crazy, but and also that on paper, I didn't expect Sonata to be as good as he is in this block.
I gotta talk about that at some point, bro.
When we do our roundup, I think we're gonna have a very detailed.
I was gonna mention that.
Yeah,
you guys are doing a roundup for LNG Gold members, all members of that.
Yeah.
So
it's absolute. Sonata is man. That's the guy, man. That's the fucking guy.
Who's Drilla working this morning? Is it Zach? Is he working Zach? I'm pretty sure it's Zach, right?
I believe it is Zach. Yes.
That actually sounds very good.
Oscar and Callum are wrestling tonight too. I might have to check that.
That sounds fascinating.
And then there's Yuya and Hanare, which Hanare just came off a 5-star, so I'm gonna say this
match of the decade contender by all accounts. So Ella, are we ready for the speed rematch of the century? Dude, I had posted the graphics alongside, and it has 2K likes. What the fuck's that about? I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect this match. The Good Brothers are a tag team, obviously, in general, but in Maple Leaf, they're that's what's their thing, is they're trying to get the belts back, I presume, on TV this weekend. They're taping it, but really cool. The other Andrade match is TJP, which makes this all the more triumphant.
Jesus.
We're going to have to do something with this on the Grin. I don't know what, but yeah, we're going to have to do something. I am genuinely really excited about it. Yeah, really. Because they've known each other for... La Sombra in New Japan. What are we looking at now? 15 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah, about 15 years.
That's
a long time. They probably had G1 matches, at least one G1 match. Yeah, so I know the speed thing is a story. I think it was touched on one of our production specials, but it was a story to itself, and a bunch of things went awry, and of course the person who got blamed for it was Machine Gun Carl Anderson. So I think it will be... And listen, I'll be clear, this definitely is something that's more important to me than him, because I'm sure he don't give a fuck, but I think it would be cool at least to kind of have a match after that, right? It was like a 1 minute thing on speed.
Yeah,
so, I'm excited for it. This is... Charlex Lee is really... That's going to test my cognitive skills very much. Do we think Alexa and Tatum will be the tag team? So, yes, briefly, but Oracle, I feel like this is much more about the push and pull of kind of Charlotte being unsure of Tatum Paxley and what that leads Alexa to do, right?
Yes, we're going to get that for a while.
Yeah, I think... The way it was presented after the fact, I think, was just a tease of what
I actually think there's a chance we get Charlotte and Alexa at WrestleMania.
So do I, yeah.
I wouldn't rule that out.
I would presume it will be for the US strap.
Yeah.
But I think what would be a good idea is get Tatum in that deal and make something new.
Charlotte?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying, like, if you ever... Listen, if ever there was a freeway situation, that probably would be it, right? And that would probably be best for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of will they, won't they? And they're going to really milk that. But I'd imagine eventually this is going to lead to a betrayal of Charlotte. So, a little bit of yes, a little bit of no, I think, to that one. I think mostly Machine Guns not wrestling tall. I think they're going to wrestle really soon. I think they could wrestle on next week's TV, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know that. It's just a gut feeling thing. What's the largest animal Bob O'Neill could defeat in hand-to-hand combat?
An ostrich. I don't know, actually.
It's tough. Bob's really big.
How big is he again? Like, how tall?
Well, he's at least like 7'8". What do you reckon? We need a large animal here.
Certainly not Austin Aries.
I'm happy to go with Bob Sapp.
A moose.
Bob Sapp.
A moose. That's funny. Always the one. All right, that works.
Yeah, we'll go with moose.
It's a good note to close on. Folks, in terms of format of these shows, we've talked about it a lot. We're tinkering. We're adjusting. I like the idea of closing with... One of the great things about doing a show live is the feedback is live, right? And so I like the idea of closing with just a few questions. We did more tonight than we probably usually will. But I like the idea of closing with like 3 questions at the end of each show. Donnie will be tasked with reminding me to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff we talked about tonight, we watched with the Grinners. LNG Gold members got to watch Dynamite Grand Slam with us, which was a blast on Wednesday. We're going to watch Collision tomorrow too. So stuff like that will obviously be slightly different because a lot of the audience, because we're very fortunate to have an incredible ratio in terms of viewers and members, got to watch it with us. So they know what stuff we like and dislike. But I do think we've tried to retrain ourselves in terms of, that doesn't mean there's not value in just discussing it on the flagship program. If this is the flagship, it makes sense it handle wrestling matters more directly than it has in the last year or so. So we hope you enjoyed this slightly different with... Yes, Khalid. Yeah.
I have a news drop. I have a what I feel is a bit important. If you are a subscriber of New Japan World, they have just put Sayuri versus Natsupoi on there. Please go check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Fuck yeah.
To that point, a couple weeks ago on this platform, we talked about a match. That's one of my matches of the year. That was an amazing match. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're having fun with this. We hope you're enjoying it. We tried something a little different tonight. I think it was really cool to get some different perspectives on the show. Appreciate Oracle and Clede's patience while we talked about, I don't know, whatever the fuck came up along the way. 2011 Impact at one point I was talking about. Yeah, we had ourselves a good time. So we hope you enjoyed it too. We're going to do some plugs and take it home. I'm going to lead the way on that front by saying Sunday night. Now, the premiere time may be moved because I have a show maybe on Sunday emerging, but there is a new Criterion, and it's finally time for me to go home because we're headed to Wembley. Do us a favor, folks. Head to that link and hit the little notify bell, and I think it will clue you in based on what time changes out and when the thing's actually premiering. So, SummerSlam 92, headed to the Criterion Collection. Collision tomorrow for our Colliders Unite tier. Donnie, any plugs?
Yeah, the 21st, I think we're doing this format again, I believe, is when we're coming back to 21st. I want to try to do something for Punk and Kevin, assuming that they actually do go ahead and do that match, which I don't know why they wouldn't because Kevin literally said it on TV, but I would like to do something for that because that feels like a big deal. But there's that. On August 23rd, me and Loss are back for Power Play. It's going to be a later start time just because I'm helping with my parents with stuff that afternoon. But we're going back to the Joshi boom of the 80s and 90s. We're going back to All Japan Women. That is August 23rd. LNG's 5th birthday is at the end of the month, the 28th. Me and Khalid, I think, decided on August 18th for the G1 roundup, just because that's when my work schedule isn't fucked. So we'll be talking about the G1 because I believe, Khalid, it ends the 16th, right? The 16th. He's muted.
There he goes again.
The finals is on the 16th. Yeah.
Listen.
Bright lights, bro.
I don't want it to end. I don't want the G1 to end. God.
This is a good one.
I'm sad, bro. But yeah, and next week, Joe's the Rampage special, right?
Rampage special next week. We've been collecting ballots. People's five favorite Rampage matches. We're going to talk through a list next week. And we're going to just, discuss. It's been 5 years since Rampage's premiere.
Holy shit.
It's going to be a pretty casual, just kind of glance back at a show that is a huge part of our history of Late Night Grin, because it's actually the reason the Grin started in the slot it did, hilariously. So that'll be kind of a precursor to the end of the month where we celebrate 5 years of Late Night Grin. Khalid, you have a Twitch channel in which you're never muted. Tell the people about it.
Twitch.tv/MXXJIMA. We did get some GTA news finally, right? Finally, some GTA news. As you can see, I am now a Netflix subscriber. August 27th, Twitch.tv/MXXJIMA. GTA 6 exclusive extended look. You don't want to miss it. Pull up to the channel. But sooner than that, we do have the G1 playoffs on the 15th and the finals on the 16th. Now, I don't know if we'll be doing Grin along for those, but I assume I assume hopefully we will be doing something.
Yeah, I feel like we can.
Yeah.
And if we are, I'll be there. And then obviously on the 18th, round up with Donnie. And then after that, who knows? We'll see what New Japan's doing after G1, but I know where to catch me, man. I know where to catch me.
It's great to have you on the flagship. Appreciate your insight. As always, the Oracle of Wrestling. Same to you, mate. It's been too long. Anything you want to put over before we head out of here?
Barry Windham, Grin Grappler.
Yeah.
To be determined very soon.
Should be next week, right?
Next week. Yeah. Next week, hopefully. We will have the Rampage special, which I might be.
Yes, I think that makes sense.
I think I'll be on that. I'll be for the grand party that we have on the 28th to celebrate 5 years of the Grin. Unfortunately, I'll be traveling for the show in 2 weeks, so I might not be able to hop on for a Punk KO discussion, but I will be here for the flagship for next week and the 28th. Donnie and I have a show.
Yes.
That we are probably aiming to schedule probably right around the last week of August, Donnie?
Probably. Yeah, I think we can. I'm almost done with the format of that, actually.
And that is going to be covering Christian's WWE CW run.
Oh, baby.
We've got some, putting it together a little bit to do, but that'll be on the table in about 3 weeks from now, probably roughly. So
beautiful.
You ready?
I love it. Tremendous, folks. Had a ton of people joining us tonight. We appreciate you all. We've got ourselves in a nice rhythm. We hope you're enjoying this kind of new approach to the Friday show. We certainly are. In terms of next week, we've already mentioned. I'm trying to think name-wise. Like JJ kind of took the words out of my mouth. I feel like that was Rampage Baby is the play. I think. It feels like the play for the name of that episode, right? It feels fitting, but I also wonder if people are going to kind of go, "What the fuck is that?" So I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure this out.
To be fair, that feels in line with the Late Night Grin, where people sometimes look at it and go, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, exactly right. So
Velocity had a longer run than Rampage.
Did it really?
That's
give me the years on Velocity.
So Velocity was May of 02 to the first week of 06, June of 06. So a little over 4 years. And Rampage was August of 21 to December of 24, I think.
The crazy thing about Rampage is too, most of the stuff people remember is just from the first 2 years. That third year, I don't because when Collision comes around, it kind of,
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. All right. Folks, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Hopefully see you in the chat for the Criterion premiere. Keep grinning. All hell, enjoy this outro. Goodbye.